Immortal Cultivation. I run an internet cafe in another world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 326, Cooperation. So I hope that we can cooperate more on this journey. Only when we work together can we really defeat these people. The elder held Bai Luo's hand and said to Bai Luo, "Don't worry, I will definitely stand with you." Now that they have reached an intention to cooperate, it will be very smooth to deal with those shadows next. After a while, the shadows at this time have almost rested, but they found that Bai Luo and his men still had no intention of leaving. This made Shadow Rabbit a little angry, so he said to Bai Luo, "What are you going to do? How long do you want to stay here? Didn't you say you would rest for a while? It's been long enough. It seems that we should leave this place quickly, otherwise, it's unknown when we will reach you." After Shadow said these words, the other shadows all echoed him, because they all felt that Bai Luo's speed of departure was indeed a bit slow, so they all wanted to ask what Bai Luo wanted to do, or whether he wanted to use this method to prevent them from passing. Bai Luo could sense the anger in their eyes, so he immediately said to them calmly, "I just saw you guys resting there, and I thought you were thinking about something. Since you're done, you should tell me right away, instead of blaming me here. Now that everyone is awake, let's go. I won't break my promise. I said I'd take you there, and I'll definitely go there, so if you still doubt me here, you can go there and try it yourself." After saying this, Bai Luo didn't say anything else. The shadows could sense the shock, so they all knew that Bai Luo was really powerful, and the two people around him were definitely not the same. If they were still here and arrogantly provoked them, they didn't know what kind of attack they would receive. They didn't dare to say anything easily, and could only wait for Shadow Bunny's command here. Shadow Bunny has now become the leader among these shadows, so his words have become the most obedient words for these shadows. However, Shadow Rabbit was shocked by Bai Luo's words. Before he could think of how to object, he turned around and found a group of shadows staring at him, which made Shadow Rabbit a little annoyed. Shadow Rabbit said to them, "Why are you all looking at me? If I can really solve these problems, do we still need to stay here? Let's just watch quietly and see what comes out in the end. Anyway, they have already promised us to go there. Bai Luo doesn't have the courage to change it, so we might as well watch here with peace of mind." When they said these words, it was obvious that they took these things very seriously. Therefore, the importance of the shadows has become Bai Luo's best way to control them. As long as Bai Luo says something, it will affect the time after they arrive there, so they will definitely want to change it as soon as possible. These people are not ordinary people, so Bai Luo must be more careful when dealing with these shadows, because any small detail may reveal his thoughts. Bai Luo didn't want those shadows to see what he thought of. Otherwise, wouldn't all his creations be seen by others? What real prestige would he have? So now Bai Luo was watching closely from the side. After thinking about it, he decided that he would never live in this place. At this time, Bai Luo and his friends were in a dilemma as to what these things were. Now they had to think about these things clearly, so the shadows behaved themselves this time. As long as Bai Luo arranged something for them, they had no complaints. It was obvious that they wanted to stay in this place for a long time, fearing that they would be affected by other things next. So now they were very obedient. No matter what they said, Bai Luo saw that they finally calmed down for a while, so he could take them away with confidence. So at this time, the Saintess and the little rabbit followed behind Bai Luo, and the shadows followed behind them, and walked in that place. They didn't want to get too close to Bai Luo and the others, fearing that Bai Luo would use some moves to knock them all unconscious. It would not be easy to wake them up at that time. After all, people as powerful as Bai Luo would definitely have some secret moves. If they could see clearly, it would be fine. If they couldn't tell at all, they would be waiting to be attacked by them. So the shadows at this time were very cautious. They didn't dare to act rashly and could only walk in that place. They were afraid that something even more unacceptable would appear in a moment. So now they were able to stay in this place calmly until the end, because they had already understood these things in advance. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. As long as these things can give them a final result, then there is no need to worry about anything. For them, it is probably not an easy thing to solve. So once they have thought about these things clearly, they must rest assured to arrange them in this place. More and more people are preparing in this place. As long as there is no mistake among them, it will be easier for them. As more and more things happened, Bai Luo had to think about how to solve them. He still had to stay calm. After all, they had just set out. What else would happen next? Let's see. We really have to set off now, right? Are the saint and the others okay? Now they were already some distance away from the place they had just been at, but Bai Luo was not walking fast. Instead, he was walking slowly in that place. That's why Xiaota couldn't help but ask him a question. Bai Luo told him, "Let's do this first and see how long they can endure. As long as they urge us, we will speed up. In this way, we don't have to worry about what will happen next." So Bai Luo's method was to boil the frog in warm water, letting them indulge in such an atmosphere little by little, so that they would not resist at that time. It must be said that Bai Luo's strategy was really powerful. Chapter 327, Opponent. Those shadows simply couldn't beat Bai Luo, so Bai Luo was able to tell the saint at the beginning that he would definitely coax these shadows and would never let them do anything wrong in this place, let alone let them reach the sacred place of the Holy Land. That's why Bai Luo made such a move. It must be said that with Bai Luo around, no wonder the Great Elder was so relieved. So they all walked slowly in front, and those shadows followed behind. Although they felt that the speed was not too fast, Bai Luo never stopped, and they could feel that he should be good. So those shadows didn't want to entangle anything at this time. Anyway, they wanted to return to that place quickly. As long as Bai Luo and the others didn't do anything in the middle, they certainly wouldn't say anything. But this was out of their hands. After all, Bai Luo didn't take the suggestions of these shadows seriously at all. What he wanted to do was undoubtedly what he wanted to do. So Bai Luo walked slowly in that place. When they arrived at this place, they could see something different from the surroundings. Presumably, the reason why the environment there was particularly bad just now was because these shadows had been attacking there, which led to such a change. Now, they finally don't have to worry about it anymore. As long as they can deal with these shadows, they don't have to worry about anything. So now Bai Luo is very clear, and he will never show his emotions too obviously. Once discovered by these shadows, they will most likely use his expression to talk, and Bai Luo doesn't want to have any competition with him at that time. After all, up to now, Bai Luo has already recognized the annoyingness of these shadows, and he can't give these people a chance. Otherwise, they will really be stuck and can't leave. We've only walked so far. At this speed, when can we reach the underground ruins? Do you want us to give him some advice? Otherwise, if it keeps on like this, we don't know when we can go back. Among the shadows, Shadow Yang began to speak, and after hearing this, Shadow Bunny said to him, "Forget it. If you had known earlier, if we had too many problems, do you think they would attack us? How would we settle these things then? So I advise you to just wait quietly here. Although I don't know how long they will eventually delay, now is definitely not a good time to quarrel with them." After Shadow Bunny said this, Shadow Aoyangzu and Shadow Lengai both agreed very much. They all felt that Shadow Bunny was right. They couldn't be tough yet, so they had to be a little softer. Let's listen to Shadow Bunny. Since he was able to persuade Bai Luo to take us back to the underground ruins, it means he should have some methods. So we have to follow his arrangements, and don't have any other doubts. Once there is an internal conflict among us, Bai Luo and his group will definitely be the happiest, so we must unite as one. It seems that they now have a certain understanding of these things, otherwise, they would not dare to say so. Now they are able to stay here peacefully until these things can be completely resolved, because they already know these things in advance. Once these things change, it will be easier for them. So no matter what, this is the direction they have been working hard for so long, and those shadows continue to follow behind. Bai Luo didn't expect that they didn't say anything, which surprised Bai Luo. He thought that if he slowed down now, those shadows would definitely rebel, but he didn't expect that they didn't say anything, but just followed behind quietly. Although Bai Luo felt a little incredible, since this was their choice, of course he wouldn't say anything. Since you have all agreed, that just fits my idea. After thinking about this, Bai Luo moved forward in time. He could feel that Bai Luo was testing their bottom line. As long as these shadows did not refuse, Bai Luo could continue like this. So Bai Luo continued to walk slowly in front. As they walked, they talked in that place. Now what Bai Luo said to them could be understood by Yang Chen and Zhao Tu beside him. Yang Chen and Zhao Tu were sharing Bai Luo's responsibility in this place. They did not want to see Bai Luo too tired. After all, if Bai Luo hurt his body because of tiredness, they would feel that it was not worth it. Bai Luo, don't be so stubborn here. If you feel uncomfortable, just say it directly. We are all here and will definitely solve these problems. If you are still stubborn here and make your body sick, then we can't treat you well here. Although they said so, they all knew how much effort Bai Luo had put in for these things. So now Yang Chen and Zhao Tu were more worried about him. Bai Luo could understand their thoughts about him. So Bai Luo smiled and told them, don't worry, my body will not be hurt by such easy things, so you just follow me here, there will be no problem. The error-free version is available at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. After saying this, they didn't say anything else. They all understood that at this time, the most important thing was to believe in Bai Luo, so they would not raise any other questions, but quietly acted according to what Bai Luo said. They believed that Bai Luo would succeed. As long as they did what Bai Luo thought, they would be able to solve these problems. Well, Bai Luo, we will believe you, and will not have any doubts anymore. After saying this, they did not continue to struggle in this place. It can be felt that they seem to have a new understanding of these things. So Bai Luo's words made them feel relieved. After all, only Bai Luo has such magic power. Others may give them some particularly annoying ideas. But Bai Luo is different. What Bai Luo gives them is the most useful and effective. Chapter 328 Conspiracy. These people gathered together to think about what to do next. Although they told Bai Luo this, they knew that Bai Luo had his own opinions on these things. So they didn't have to worry about this. With Bai Luo here, these things wouldn't be a big problem. After all, from Bai Luo's own point of view, he definitely knew how to deal with these things. The saint now put all her confidence in Bai Luo, because she believed that only Bai Luo could say these words so calmly. As for other people, it was not worth discussing them here. So these things have become particularly easy now. If other people still want to say something because of this matter, they must think about it in advance. Don't worry, there are so many of us. It's hard to say that we can't defeat those shadows. We just need the elders of the Holy Land to find some methods that are beneficial to us. Only in this way can we quickly solve these problems. When Bai Luo said these words, the saint girl understood what he meant. The saint girl contacted the elders over there because she knew the importance of these things, so she asked them to explore faster. As long as they have many methods in their hands, they can easily settle all of this. This is definitely not an easy thing for them, especially from the beginning. They have already regarded these things as very important. If they are still affected by these small things, then bigger problems will really occur. So they all walked in that place. Now Bai Luo is leading the way in front. His speed is not too fast. Even if the shadows behind want to say something, they have to think about it. Everyone on Bai Luo's side naturally doesn't want to pay attention to those shadows. After all, they stole other people's things and were complacent in this place, thinking that they have become an independent individual and even have the absurd idea of wanting to replace the main body. So now the little rabbit is unwilling to say anything to them, especially when he sees his own shadow walking in that place. The little rabbit feels physically nauseous. Obviously, these things should belong to him. Why can't they appear alone in this place now? This is simply incomprehensible to the little rabbit, but he can't change anything, so he can only put all this in his heart. Bai Luo is not considering this aspect now because he is still thinking about how to lure these people to a place where they can't escape. In that case, Bai Luo doesn't have to be afraid of what these shadows will say. Especially now that Bai Luo's understanding of these things has surpassed them. So if those shadows really want to fight with Bai Luo, they have to consider whether they have the strength in advance. After all, Bai Luo's strength is not something that ordinary people can easily defeat. So they are not Bai Luo's opponents at all, and they are still complacent there, thinking that they have really caught Bai Luo's handle, although Bai Luo still can't confirm whether what those shadows said, that hurting them is hurting the body, is true. But Bai Luo was not afraid. He had to be fully prepared in this place. Bai Luo was doing this now to stabilize these shadows. After all, Bai Luo could only protect the people in front of him, and he had no way of knowing whether Rao Hangzhou and Leng Yu on the other side would hurt them when the shadows committed suicide. For the safety of Rao Hangzhou and Leng Yu, Bai Luo had to act carefully, so Bai Luo agreed to their requests at the beginning. But as Bai Luo slowly developed, he would understand that what they said was nothing but false. After all, paper cannot cover fire. Their lies will be exposed one day. At that time, Bai Luo would be more unscrupulous and would not take these so-called shadows to heart at all. After all, they were just dragging down others in this place. So in this way, Bai Luo and his friends would be relieved, and now they needed to think about these things by themselves in this place. As long as someone could help them solve these things, Bai Luo would be more relaxed, but Bai Luo was not so eager to have someone help them. After all, Bai Luo's strength could stabilize everything. From this point, it can be felt that Bai Luo has a great understanding of these things now. Those other people who want to compete with him for something must consider in advance whether they have the strength to do so. Most of the people are not Bai Luo's opponents at all, and they are still complacent in that place, which can only anger Bai Luo. They don't know that in Bai Luo's view, everything they do is nothing more than jumping clowns, which seems particularly ridiculous, so Bai Luo will not say anything because of this little thing. Are they really not going to cheat? Why do I always feel that they seem to be hiding something? Now those shadows are whispering in private that they have their own secrets and will not let Bai Luo and others know, and Bai Luo will certainly not care about such trivial matters. After all, what they say can't cause any waves. So Bai Luo let them talk about it here, because he is not worried at all about what kind of resistance they will make, because Bai Luo already knows that these shadows are now fully focused on returning to the underground ruins. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. If I can achieve such a result for them, how could they possibly make trouble? At least most of the shadows will not have any idea of refusing, so Bai Luo is so sure now. Otherwise, I don't know what problems will happen because of these things. So far, I can understand why so many people are sure all of a sudden, so since they have figured it out, they must think it through. Otherwise, it is hard to say whether there will be other problems because of these things at that time. Now they can stay in this place calmly because they have understood these things. As long as there is a chance, they will definitely not miss it. When they can really decide these things, everything will become easier. Every time I think of this, it is a very important thing for Bai Luo. He is now messed up by these people and doesn't want to say anything anymore. But Bai Luo can feel that those people are on the verge of collapse. It is because they have known these things in advance that they can stay in this place so calmly. Chapter 329. Take it easy. Otherwise, it is unknown what kind of problems will occur. All they can do so far is to work towards this direction. If anyone dares to destroy something, then the final result will definitely be bad. So now they must believe these things, because there are many things that are determined in advance. Even if they don't want to believe, there is no way. What they can do now is to persist in this place. As long as there is a chance to resolve all this, it will be the most useful for them. Bai Luo saw that they were all gathered in that place, so he turned around and asked them, "Do you have any questions? You can ask directly. After all, I will answer all your questions now. There is no need to say it there, otherwise what you say is different from what I think. Wouldn't it be embarrassing?" Bai Luo looked at them calmly in that place. Everyone's eyes were on those shadows. Now they were stared at by Bai Luo and his people, and they couldn't help but feel a little scared, because they didn't know what Bai Luo and his people's real attitude was. If they continue to provoke here, will there be a greater crisis? So at this time, they dare not say anything, and can only say to Bai Luo, "We just want to say something else, that's all. You don't have to be so nervous. After all, we are almost going to arrive at that place together. Of course we won't do something bad." When those shadows said this, Bai Luo could see from their expressions what they were thinking. So after Bai Luo heard this, he didn't have to worry anymore. "Well, if you have any questions, remember to tell me as soon as possible. I will help you solve it." After Bai Luo said this, he turned his head away very generously. It can be seen that Bai Luo didn't take their words to heart at all. The questioning just now undoubtedly made them feel scared. So those people couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable at this time. After all, Bai Luo's tone just now really scared them, so at this time they couldn't help but complain there. "Why didn't I feel that Bai Luo's oppression was so strong before? Could it be that he did it on purpose?" When those shadows were doubting in that place, their tone was uncertain, because they could not be sure whether these things were really as they thought. Bai Luo was thinking about their mentality in this place. After all, they were a little abnormal, so Bai Luo wanted to see what their current situation was. They stayed in this place because they knew that they could not solve these things smoothly. Otherwise, they didn't know whether they would be submissive like they did just now. Bai Luo knew that when dealing with people like them, he had to be tough and let them know that he was not easy to mess with, because only in this way they could smoothly settle these things. In their eyes, Bai Luo is now very tough, but this is normal. If they know that he is easy to deal with, then they will be easily attacked by them. So Bai Luo has become what he is now. Well, let's move on. If you have any questions, you can raise them. I've already told you. There's nothing else to say. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said it like this at the beginning. After saying this, they all seemed to understand the importance of these things to them, so those shadows no longer doubted anything in this place. They knew that, even if they doubted in this place, the result would be the same. Because once Bai Luo got angry, he wouldn't let them continue in this place, and then they would be in a terrible situation. So they didn't dare to say anything they shouldn't say now. What they can do now is to stick to this place until the end. As long as they are given a certain opportunity to play, then these things will become very easy. After all, they are used to this style, and naturally they are very clear about what the solution to these things will bring to them in the endies. So after thinking of this, they were all very quiet at this time, and they all stayed in that place. Now Bai Luo saw that they finally stopped making trouble in this place, and he was so happy. He could feel that these people must put a certain amount of pressure on them. Otherwise, they would not think they did anything wrong. In this case, it is easy to have some other problems. Bai Luo has now established his position here. Saint Girl and Little Rabbit followed behind. Although they did not have a good impression of those people, they all obeyed Bai Luo's arrangements. As long as Bai Luo asked them to do something, they would not refuse anything. Bai Luo has now become the complete leader here. Most people will act according to what Bai Luo said, which has already highlighted Bai Luo's importance, so no one dared to do anything. Bai Luo is now very happy to see that they have finally settled down a little. Otherwise, if he always deals with these people, he does not know how long he will waste in this place. He always feels that it is not worthwhile to talk to people like them, so Bai Luo is so nervous. Otherwise, he will not be like that at the beginning. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Now Bai Luo has determined that, as long as he is tough, they will not say anything. So at that time Bai Luo will know which direction he should develop in. Now Bai Luo saw that those people are well behaved, and he couldn't help laughing in his heart. As long as there is this opportunity to control them, Bai Luo will never let it go. As long as these things are solved early, there will be no hidden dangers in the future. It can be seen that Bai Luo's understanding of these things has exceeded the scope of his understanding at the beginning. Otherwise, Bai Luo would not be able to command these people smoothly in this place. Those people are very clear about Bai Luo's current power. They will never ask for trouble, So at this time, those shadows are as quiet as chickens. They are afraid of angering Bai Luo and letting Bai Luo do something else. So now they all know to be calm, otherwise, they don't know what they will encounter. Now they are precisely because they have understood this, so Bai Luo does not want to target them and do something else. Otherwise, wouldn't it be very cheap? Fortunately, they are already very obedient. If it were according to Bai Luo's previous temper, he would definitely teach them a lesson here. Zio too knows what kind of character Bai Luo used to have and can't help but say on the side. Chapter 330 Discovery. Bai Luo now knew that he had to solve these problems with these shadows, so his request to them was very important. After all, Bai Luo knew that if he wanted to rule them, he had to establish prestige among them first. Only after he truly established prestige could he manipulate them well, especially since these shadows were very ambitious. If Bai Luo did not have the real strength to control them, he would definitely be defeated by them. By that time, it was very likely that he would be in more trouble, so Bai Luo deeply understood how much trouble he had now, because he had to keep an eye on these shadows all the time, and he had to delay time, and he must not let them go to the underground ruins. That was a very important place for them. Since he had promised the saint that Bai Luo would solve these problems well, then Bai Luo would definitely do it, and would never break his promise, otherwise, wouldn't he lose the saint's trust? It can be seen that Bai Luo now regards these things as more important than anyone else. As long as he decides to do it, he will never relax. Just follow me all the time. As long as you believe in me, you can achieve what you want. But if you want to give me some other suggestions, I will not listen to them. After all, I have to make the decision on everything. When Bai Luo said this, it can be seen that he is very confident about these things, so he doesn't care about what those people think. And those shadows listened to Bai Luo's words and knew what he was thinking. Although they were unhappy at this time, they couldn't say anything. They could clearly feel that Bai Luo seemed very confident at this time, so he could speak the truth so calmly. This made those shadows not know what to say. This person is too arrogant, isn't he? Does he really think we will do what he says? It's unreasonable. Now those shadows only dare to talk behind their backs. After all, they are afraid that if they say too much, it will cause Bai Luo's dissatisfaction, and then they don't know what kind of twists and turns he will give them. So at this time, Shadow Bunny said to them, since he has agreed, we should not react at all. We just need to follow him honestly. If he dares to regret it, don't forget that they think we are injured, and those main bodies will be injured, so we can use this to control them severely. When Shadow Bunny said this, his eyes were still on Bai Luo, but it was obvious that he didn't care about these things at all. No matter what Bai Luo said, it seemed that it was not so important to him. So Shadow Bunny was very rampant now, but once he was too arrogant, he would be exposed. Bai Luo was not a fool. He would naturally think about these contents carefully in private. After all, Bai Luo was uncertain at the beginning, but it was only for the safety of his friends, so Bai Luo did not show too much anger. Now Bai Luo has time to think about it and see if he can find the final answer to this matter. For Bai Luo, this is a process that needs to be thought about. So if those shadows don't know now and find an excuse to cover up the past, then Bai Luo will find out the secret sooner or later. Unfortunately, those people don't realize why they do this. So in this way, it is obvious how much they know about these things. If someone dares to question them, they will definitely be affected by these things. As time goes by, it seems that many people are waiting here. Anyway, so many people are watching here, and most people seem to understand. For them, the most important thing is that they must be able to keep a normal mind, then they will definitely be able to end it. At this time, the Saint and the Great Elder were in a very stable mood. Although they were still a little unhappy about taking these shadows back to their favorite place, with Bai Luo's help, they actually dispelled a lot of their concerns about these things. After all, in their opinion, as long as Bai Luo was there, everything could be solved, so no one dared to say anything. Anyway, so many people are watching here. So, do you still think that they will say something because of these things? So many people are watching here. It's easy for you to say that. As long as we can really defeat all of this, it will be simpler. So many people are watching here. You don't really think that these things will be easy. After saying this, they didn't seem to care much about what Bai Luo said. Some people even felt that their original choice was wrong. If that happened, there would definitely be bigger problems. More and more people were here, watching their actions. As long as they didn't make any mistakes, there would definitely be no changes at that time. It seemed that they had understood the most important point, so they kept struggling here. The longer they struggled, the more difficult it would be for them. As long as they could break through all of this, the final result would definitely be as they knew. Especially now that Bai Luo was leading them and walking in front. Everyone had already understood why Bai Luo was so powerful, and those people didn't dare to make any other moves. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. After they walked for a while, Bai Luo planned to take a break. After all, he wanted to delay time in this place, so he would try to stay in this place. Bai Luo would never give up. Bai Luo said to them, "Everyone sit down and take a break. We have been walking for half a day since we set out. We must be a little tired. You can sit here for a while." After hearing this, those people at this time did not expect that Bai Luo would say this. They thought they would keep moving forward in this place, but unexpectedly, Bai Luo was the first to propose this. Those people looked at Bai Luo and asked in confusion, "We just came out, why do we have to rest now? Are you deliberately slowing down time in this place?" After hearing this, Bai Luo laughed. "I didn't expect that you thought so in your hearts. I didn't do anything. If you think so, then I can't do anything. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 331 Rest. Bai Luo acted very calmly, as if these things were natural, and not as they suspected, that he did these things on purpose. After seeing this, the shadows couldn't say anything back. They could feel Bai Luo's confidence when he said this, and it seemed that he really wanted to rest here for a while. Of course, the shadows couldn't make any resistance. After all they could do now was to follow Bai Luo's arrangements, so they all stayed here. At this time, Xiaotu and Aoyangchen came to Bai Luo's side and told him what they had just thought. "We have been staring at our shadows all the way, and it is really uncomfortable, especially for me. I want to attack the shadow bunny. I always feel very uncomfortable looking at them." It seems that the feelings of the two parties are the most obvious. After all, only the bunny and Aoyangchen were copied by others, and the others maintained their own personalities. So now hearing their angry words, Bai Luo could only tell them comfortingly, "But we can't do it to them easily now, because it is very likely to endanger your safety. Wait and see, I will observe it later. I always feel that I haven't figured out these things, so I have to look further." After saying this, Bai Luo began to think about it and planned to see if there was any way to blow up their true level. And those shadows were thinking there. Anyway, he couldn't care too much about things, and those shadows didn't take the real bodies seriously, so they hated the real bunny and Aoyangchen even more. As the leader of the shadows, Shadow Bunny did not even try to hide his disdain for Bunny. "I really want to get rid of him right away. If he didn't die, I would be finished. I wouldn't have kept him until now. I'm going to ridicule him later." After saying this, Shadow Bunny felt that this method would help him get rid of his worries a little. After all, his aversion to the original body was innate, so now when he saw Bunny in that place, he would feel particularly uncomfortable. That's why, until now, these things and those people can't change. After all, they are used to it, so all those shadows can do is avoid those original bodies. Now that they are together, there is no need for those shadows to be too patient. They have now told Bai Luo and the others what they care about. If Bai Luo wants his friends to be hurt, he will definitely treat them well as they said. Otherwise, they will definitely attack and make Bai Luo regret it. We don't need to be too cautious and listen to them too much. If you feel unhappy with someone, just say it directly. I don't believe that Bai Luo can really do anything to us. As long as the first test is successful, then everything we do next will be easy. It seems that they want to take advantage of this opportunity to see if Bai Luo will really let them do whatever they want. Since Bai Luo brought them out, he seems to be more perfunctory than at the beginning, and did not take their opinions too seriously. Instead, he still did it according to his own ideas, which was very unhappy for those shadows. The reason why they were happy was because they could order Bai Luo around here, but they didn't expect that Bai Luo would not do what they wanted. Now Bai Luo is even here, saying some words that people can't understand. Well, let's wait and show them how powerful we are. Once they have witnessed our strength, I think they won't dare to say anything. When they said these words, the confidence in their tone made people feel that they were too happy and arrogant and didn't take them seriously at all, as if these things were natural. It can be seen how simple these people think all this is. It seems that these shadows still don't realize the existence of the crisis. Bai Luo sat there, took out some food, and distributed it to everyone there. The saint was in a better mood at this time, and chatted with Bai Luo there. When we go back, those elders can help us, so with their help, it should be easier to deal with these shadows in front of us. It's just that their secret method is quite difficult to find. Until now, the elders over there don't seem to have come to any conclusion. This makes me feel a little unbelievable, because I originally thought these things should be quite simple. The saint was slowly speaking her thoughts there. After listening to her, Bai Luo felt that what the saint said made some sense. Neither of them had expected such a thing to happen, so they were both very surprised about it. You make sense. I never thought that something like this would happen, but there is no way. We have to accept this now, especially since you saw those shadows. We don't know how to deal with them now. So we have to ensure the safety of these people before we can attack them. Otherwise, once they get angry or do something bad to their original bodies, our friends will be completely finished. So when I think of this, I don't dare to act easily. Bai Luo is now restricted. Otherwise, according to his character, he would have already dealt with these people civilly. After all, these shadows provoked Bai Luo in this place and even put Bai Luo in a state of being slandered. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. This is simply unbearable for Bai Luo, but it is only because they are attached to the souls of those people. Otherwise, Bai Luo will definitely destroy them all. What Bai Luo is worried about now is that he is afraid that after these shadows disappear, they will affect Yangzu and Zhao to themselves, so Bai Luo must observe further. The shadows were naturally a little hungry when they saw what Bai Luo and his friends were eating, but they ate different things from humans, so even when they saw Bai Luo and his friends dividing up the food, they said something disdainful. It's just these things. Although we can't eat them, we have other things to supplement them. At this time, the shadow rabbit took out the things they needed, and this thing was specially made by them. No one knew what it was called, but they knew that, after eating these things, they were very useful for their bodies. Chapter 330 to Secret. Especially since they don't need to replenish too many things like humans do, a little bit of this stuff is enough to keep them going in this place. These shadows don't always have power, they need to replenish their abilities like humans. Otherwise, they will faint completely in this place. Now they gather in that place, and it is obvious that their atmosphere is completely different from Bai Luo's. Those shadows are not nervous about anything at all, but are very calm. After all, they are going to the place they want to go the most, and what Bai Luo and his friends have to face is how to stop them. It is not easy to prevent them from going there. How can they have the same mood? So now Bai Luo doesn't want to say anything about these things anymore. He can see that those people care about these things. If he says something else, it is very likely that he will be affected by these things, and it is hard to say what kind of problems will arise because of these things. So Bai Luo watched their actions and thought about what method to use to test them later. These people will definitely not be able to withstand the temptation. It is obvious that they don't have much scheming. Although they do have some skills, that is only under the premise that Bai Luo gives into them. Once Bai Luo really wants to do something to them, then they can't think of having a good time in this place. You all stay here and have a good rest. I'll go for a walk nearby. See if I can find any other places to break through. After saying this, Bai Luo got up and left that place. The eyes of those shadows drifted with Bai Luo's movements. Their eyes were glued to Bai Luo. As long as Bai Luo went, they would pay attention to him all the time. They were afraid that Bai Luo would do something behind their backs, so they didn't dare to act rashly at this time. Where did he go? Why did he suddenly get up from that place? Otherwise, let's go over and ask him. It would be bad if he left us here later. When they said this, they could feel that they were all very afraid. After all, they couldn't figure out Bai Luo's thoughts. As for other people, they could attack them. However, people with strength like Bai Luo, they have no way to relax their vigilance in this place, because people like this are too powerful. Once they relax their vigilance, they can't stay in this place. It seems that their understanding of these things has exceeded the expectations of those people. If they can't change these things, the final result will definitely not be set up as they think. After saying this, they seem to have completely understood the importance of these things to them. So Shadow Rabbit stood up and walked to where Bai Luo was. The rabbit stood up, blocked Shadow Rabbit in front of him, and said to him, "What are you doing?" Bai Luo was just walking around. Why are you following him all the time? After hearing this, Shadow Rabbit was very disdainful at this time and said to him, "What's my situation like? It has nothing to do with you. Besides, I'm looking for Bai Luo, not you. You'd better leave this place. Since you are my original body, I don't want to attack you now. Otherwise, you are not my opponent at all." Shadow Rabbit's arrogant attitude made the little rabbit even more angry. "Where do you get your confidence from? I really don't know. Why do you think you can be my opponent? Do you really think that your strength is better than mine? Don't forget that the power in you is copied from me, so in terms of strength, I'm stronger than you. Why are you so confident that you can defeat me?" After hearing this, Shadow Rabbit didn't say anything. Since Bai Luo didn't leave this place, there was no need for him to stand there all the time. So he came back from that place and didn't respond to the little rabbits shouting to him from beginning to end. This is the little rabbit is very angry and he wants to rush up and compete with this shadow little rabbit, but he was stopped by Yang Chen. Although he looked a little angry just now, Yang Chen remembered what Bai Luo said to them. They haven't figured out the relationship between these shadows and them yet. If they attack rashly, they will definitely be hurt. So at this time, the shadow little rabbit said to the little rabbit, "You'd better not struggle here. No matter what, you are not my opponent." After hearing this, the little rabbit wanted to beat him up, but Yang Chen directly hugged him back and said to the little rabbit at that place, "Have you forgotten what Bai Luo just said to us? We can't take them lightly now. Who knows what else they will do? You don't really think that they can be so presumptuous and do these things in this place? They must know something that is beneficial to them, so they dare to do this. If you rush up like this, aren't you afraid of getting yourself involved?" Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 +_. After saying this, Yang Chen's words calmed Xiao down. Xiao could only return to his seat with disdain. The anger in his heart had nowhere to vent. Xiao was speechless. "Why did you stop me? You didn't say anything just now. Do you want to attack those people? We finally found an opportunity. Bai Luo is not here yet. We attacked them. Bai Luo would not know. But you stopped me. What should I do now?" After saying this, Xiao was still a little puzzled. What was the reason for Yang Chen's action just now? It seemed that he really acted according to what Bai Luo said. This was too unfair to Xiao. So at this time, Yang Chen could only sit down and talk to them slowly. "Of course I want to be like you, quarrel with them, and then compete with them, but we still have to listen to Bai Luo's words. Anyway, I think we can trust what Bai Luo says. Since he doesn't let us act rashly, then I won't go to war with them." Yang Chen is very calm now. The saint and the great elder just went to that place with Bai Luo to see something else. As soon as they came back, they saw Yang Chen and Xiao looking worried. Thinking that those shadows attacked him, the saint immediately squatted down, checked their injuries, and said to them with concern. Chapter 333 Concern. Are you two okay? Look at your appearance. Are you injured? If you feel uncomfortable, tell me and I can check for you right away. After hearing this, Xiaotu and Ao Chen shook their heads and told the saint what had just happened. The saint actually understood what was wrong with them, but they had no way to change it now. All they could do was comfort them. So Xiaotu knew that there was no need to care about it. As long as the shadow rabbit didn't say anything to him, he would be able to endure it. It seemed that Xiaotu really listened to Bai Luo's words, so there wouldn't be any problems. But the shadow rabbit didn't think so. He just wanted to provoke Xiaotu's anger. In this way, once Xiaotu attacked them, he could take this opportunity to ask Bai Luo for more things, and then they would get more benefits. So Shadow Rabbit didn't care about these things at all. Anyway, he hated Xiaotu to begin with. If he could make him unhappy, then Shadow Rabbit would definitely be happy. See, they can't do anything to us, so even if we too humiliate them in front of them, they won't say anything. Then we can go and sneer at them together and see what else these two people can do. Now they are all gathered in this place, and Xiaotu can't even easily get away from Shadow Xiaotu. It seems that the two of them have been together for such a long time, and they have some connections with each other. If they want to cut off the connection, it's not that easy. After thinking about this, Xiaotu couldn't help but roll his eyes. Why didn't Ao Chen have such troubles, but he had to be tied to this kind of thing, which was simply incomprehensible. When they said this at this time, they didn't think about it. We should talk about it now. What kind of situation have we reached between each other about these things? If we can't solve these things, then the final answer will definitely not be the one they want. So at this time, they all gathered in this place, quietly waiting for Bai Luo. After a circle, Bai Luo finally came back. He landed steadily at that place. Seeing that everyone's eyes were looking at him, Bai Luo distributed the things in his hand to them, and all the shadows had a share. Bai Luo held one stone after another in his hand. The stone looked no different from ordinary stones, but it emitted some unknown and strange light, and there were many things on it. It looked like Bai Luo had looted it from that place. So at this time, Xiaotu and Ao Chen said to Bai Luo, "What is this? I have never seen it before." After hearing Xiaotu's question, Bai Luo smiled and sat there and talked to them. "These are what I just found in the past. They are very magical. They are all staying on the trees, and I found that, as long as I carry them with me, the wild beasts nearby will not come to attack me. We still need to go through some dangerous places to return to the Holy Land from this place. Saint and Great Elder, you should be able to understand." The Great Elder understood what Bai Luo meant. This was the second time he saw this kind of stone. The last time he came to this place by chance and got it. "I didn't expect you to be so knowledgeable. This stone is really rare. Although it looks like an ordinary stone, once it starts to emit light, it will change into a different pattern. And this pattern is a natural shield that will keep those ferocious things away from this place. So as long as you carry it with you, you can avoid some powerful attacks. For us, this is like a talisman. So I'm so happy to see him again, because I never thought that this day would come." After saying this, the elder put him in his arms with great care. From the elder's actions, they learned that it seems that this thing should be treated well, otherwise it will not be of much use. "I didn't expect you to be able to find so many, and why did you give them to those shadows? If you give them to them, won't it be a bit difficult for us to attack them again?" The little rabbit was still angry with the shadow rabbit just now, so he couldn't help asking here. Bai Luo saw his expression and understood that he seemed to be really unhappy because of these things, so Bai Luo told them, "Since we want to bribe them and let them let down their guard, then we naturally have to give them everything at the beginning. Only after giving them these things, they can follow us with confidence. Otherwise, once they have doubts, it will be the biggest tragedy for us. Then it will not be so easy to control them. So now we must make some small efforts and get greater rewards." Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar first published this novel. Bai Luo's words made the saint very happy. After experiencing so many things, the saint really found that people with great wisdom like Bai Luo are really rare, especially those who are very humble like Bai Luo. Others may have already been arrogant, only Bai Luo would still be here, listen to their words, and consider them, which is enough to prove how powerful Bai Luo is, so they rested enough at this time. Those shadows looked at the stone for a long time, but did not see the doorway like the elder. They just thought that this was something Bai Luo gave them, so they just put it on their bodies. Who cares? Anyway, what he gave us should be of some use. Take it. Since he gave it to us, we must hold it. If he does something to us in the future, we can react immediately. It seems that Shadow Rabbit's reconnaissance ability is still very strong. He can feel that, since Bai Luo and them, it means that these things are not so underestimated, so at this time he will tell those people to put them away. After hearing Shadow Rabbit say this, those people nodded. So they put all the things in their arms, and at this time Bai Luo and the others started to set off. They all stood up, and Bai Luo said to the shadows, "You can't wait, let's go, we have almost rested." After hearing this, they all gathered together and continued to walk forward. At this time, the little rabbit and our Chen stood beside Bai Luo and did not look at their own shadows. Chapter 334, Sarcasm. The two of them must control their anger now, otherwise, if they do, the peaceful atmosphere will be defeated, and Bai Luo might be disappointed. After all, this is the group that Bai Luo has gathered with great difficulty. If something imperfect is caused by their mistakes, then Xiaotu and our Chen will definitely blame themselves, but Shadow Xiaotu and Shadow our Chen will not let them go easily. They just planned how to anger them, so now they want to take advantage of the anger just now, to continue to anger them. At this time, Shadow Xiaotu came to the side of Xiaotu, and after Xiaotu felt his approach, he quietly flashed past him, not wanting to have too much communication with him. At this time, Shadow Xiaotu began to laugh. "Are you afraid of me? Didn't you just say that all the power in me comes from you? Why are you so worried after seeing me? No, it seems that you were just pretending. I was saying that as the real body. How could you be stronger than an external shadow like me? Anyway, your strength is too low. I feel a little embarrassed that you are my main body." When Shadow Bunny said this, the contempt in his tone was so unpleasant that it made people uncomfortable. This kind of sarcasm made Bunny look at him with some hatred in his eyes. After Shadow Bunny saw Bunny's eyes, he became more excited and continued to talk there. "Why, am I wrong? What I said is true, but your strength is not good enough. No matter how angry you are, I'm just saying the facts. You don't really think I will follow your arrangements and do whatever you tell me to do. I was just letting you go here just now. It seems that you really think too much of yourself. It's ridiculous." After saying this, the Shadow Rabbit continued to stand there. The elder did not seem to leave. Even if the rabbit wanted to leave, he found that he could not escape from him. They could feel that the Shadow Rabbit was doing it on purpose. He just wanted to irritate them here, so the rabbit had to clench his fists and force himself not to listen to what the Shadow Rabbit said, and to treat his words as lies, and not to take them seriously. Otherwise, he would definitely be angry because of this. So after thinking about this, Xiaotu didn't say anything. Bai Luo could feel that Shadow Xiaotu was oppressing Xiaotu, so he turned his head to look at Shadow Xiaotu, and said to Shadow Xiaotu, "What are you doing? If you have anything to say, you can go and talk to me. There is no need to be aggressive here. If you have any questions, you can just ask them directly." After saying this, it can be felt that they seem to have a new understanding of these things, otherwise, it would not be like this. At this time, Bao Chen was there, wanting to help Xiaotu out of the siege, but he didn't expect Shadow Chen to come over from there again. Bao Chen was faster than Xiaotu, and soon he went to Xiaotu's side, not letting Shadow Chen succeed. However, Shadow Chen would mock Chen there, even if there were several people between them. "Oh, I knew I might as well not come, because you see, you've already hidden next to Xiaotu before I even got to you. So you two are the same. You don't have any strength, but you still think you can suppress me here. If Bai Luo was not here, you wouldn't be anything to be afraid of. That's why I dare to say this, because I have the capital." After saying this, no one expected that they would actually quarrel. Bai Luo grabbed the Shadow Chen next to him and warned him. I tell you to, if you dare to say anything sarcastic here, then don't even think about leaving here peacefully. I told you at the beginning that I didn't let you order my friends around at will. We are cooperating for mutual benefit. As long as everyone works together, we can solve these problems. You don't really think that I'm afraid of you, do you? They just don't do anything to you for my sake. Otherwise, with their previous tempers, you would have been dead by now. Bai Luo asked Xiaotu and Dao Yangchen to stand behind him, and at the same time, had the power to calm their emotions. Bai Luo understood that the two people's sarcasm and ridicule led Xiaotu and Dao Yangchen to do something, so Bai Luo certainly couldn't let their plan succeed, so he comforted them here. Dao Yangchen and Xiaotu could feel it. A refreshing power slowly filled the whole heart from the bottom of the heart, making their just anxious emotions disappear completely in an instant. They immediately felt relieved. It seemed that Bai Luo's move was really useful. They could calmly forget everything in this place, so they couldn't help but look at Bai Luo with gratitude. At this time, Bai Luo continued to stare at the shadows. Shadows Xiaotu saw that the opportunity had gone and didn't say anything. He just curled his lips and left with Shadow Yangchen. This Bai Luo is really annoying. He has been by Yangchen and Xiaotu's side, and he helps them all the time. The two of us can't do anything. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Really ridicule the two of them and make them explode. It seems that we must think of some more useful methods next time. If it doesn't work this time, it will definitely work next time. It can be seen that the mentality of the two of them is still quite good, and they did not give up because of this incident. Instead, they became more and more courageous in that place. If Bai Luo knew that they would react like this, he would definitely be speechless. He really didn't understand what the two shadows were going to do. Although it would disturb their emotions, there was no need to develop it at this time. It was just like playing house. Bai Luo let Xiaotu and Dao Yangchen walk in front of him, and he walked with the shadows, so that he could completely prevent Shadow Xiaotu and Shadow Yangchen from torturing Yangchen and Xiaotu. Bai Luo's method was really effective. After all, Bai Luo was not afraid of what they said, and even Bai Luo would agree with them. After all, Bai Luo knew too much, which was completely beyond the reach of those shadows. Originally, Shadow Xiaotu wanted to continue to influence Bai Luo, like he had just influenced Xiaotu, but found that Bai Luo not only didn't care, but could even tell them something, which really surprised Shadow Xiaotu. She didn't understand how Bai Luo developed, and people couldn't tell what his strength was. Chapter 335 Thinking. Now they have to do what Bai Luo said in this place, especially for someone like Bai Luo. Other people can't guess his thoughts at all. Now Bai Luo knows how to solve these things. Just let those shadows do what he wants. If they have any other suggestions, Bai Luo will definitely not let them stay here. After all, Bai Luo has to manipulate them. You two just stay here. Don't think about making trouble again. We have already promised you that we will take you back to that place. Why do you still have to make these things here? Now Bai Luo is very confused about this matter. He doesn't understand where they got this method from, and they are trying to attack them here, which makes Bai Luo a little angry. Especially now that Bai Luo's tolerance for these things has decreased. He really doesn't know what these shadows are going to do. At the beginning, they said it better than anyone else, but suddenly they broke their promise. This is something that Bai Luo can't accept, so those shadows can feel where Bai Luo is angry now. They didn't dare to say anything at this time. They could only act according to Bai Luo's words. Otherwise, they didn't know what kind of problems would arise because of these things. With their current strength, they probably had to follow Bai Luo most of the time to solve the problem. If they really broke through by force, there would definitely be problems. So now Shadow Bunny and Shadow Yangchen had to leave that place. Since Bai Luo had said so, there was no need for them to continue to provoke him. Otherwise, they would definitely make Bai Luo even angrier. So now they had to stay quietly in this place. Otherwise, they didn't know what kind of problems would arise because of these things. It's really boring. I thought I could continue to attack them here, but I didn't expect the final result to be like this. It can be seen that these people are quite smart and know what methods to use to really drive us away from this place. If they use this method to attack us at the beginning, then we may really have no way to stay here. After saying this, it is obvious that the things they just discussed can only be temporarily abandoned now. Otherwise, Bai Luo can't say what kind of harm will be caused to them. I'm really angry. I thought I could do things freely, but now we seem to be trapped. Is there really no other way to solve these things? Thinking about it makes people feel a little speechless. After they said this, it is obvious that they have made some new breakthroughs in their understanding of these things, so as long as someone can provide them with some help, it is conceivable that these people will not give up, so now they are so calm to stay here. As long as there is a chance to resolve these things, they will definitely spare no effort. Bai Luo was so angry about the actions of those shadows that he didn't know what to say. How dare they be so arrogant and provoke Zairotu and our Yangchen here? It's obvious that they didn't take my words to heart. So at this time, Bai Luo turned his head and stared at Zairotu and our Yangchen, asking them what they thought. Zairotu and our Yangchen were a little calmer now. Although they could feel that those people did it on purpose, they didn't want to say anything about it. And they knew that Shadow Zairotu and Shadow Yangchen did this just to deliberately anger them and cause a series of troubles. So Yangchen and Zairotu certainly didn't want to hold Bai Luo back because of these things, so they all injured it there. Bai Luo felt sad for them, so he told Zairotu and Yangchen, if you two really can't bear it any longer, you can fight back. I will make sure they can't do anything. After hearing this, Zairotu and Yangchen were very happy. Bai Luo's words were enough for them. After all, Bai Luo really understood their thoughts clearly, so Bai Luo would definitely make the decision for them. At this time, Zairotu laughed and told Bai Luo, don't worry, we too can bear it, and they did these things on purpose. If we really fall for it, wouldn't it be that we have fallen into their trap? Don't worry, we too will definitely stick to this place. Bai Luo was now angry at the actions of those shadows. It seemed that he had to think of a way to severely punish them, otherwise, he really had no way to deal with these people. It's too rampant. I can't let them go on like this. Otherwise, who can solve these problems at that time? I won't tolerate these things. After saying this, Bai Luo's eyes changed. Zairotu and Yangchen, as people who know Bai Luo, understand what's wrong with him. He is really angry with those people, so he suddenly gets so angry. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first publishes this novel. Otherwise, according to Bai Luo's previous personality, he would not suddenly show such annoyance. It seems that those shadows really touched Bai Luo's bottom line. After all, in Bai Luo's view, these friends are very important to him. But those shadows attacked his friends again and again, which was simply unbearable for Bai Luo, so he had to fight back now. Bai Luo knew that he had to think about these things from beginning to end. If he couldn't figure out the secrets, Zairotu and Yangchen would be attacked by them again. Although Bai Luo was moving forward, he was still thinking, could it be that what they said was a lie, and the real secret was something Bai Luo hadn't seen? Bai Luo began to think about what he had heard from the shadows during this period of time. The shadows said that, if they were hurt, then the real bodies would be hurt. But Bai Luo suddenly realized that the real body of the little rabbit was not hurt. If according to what they said, if the shadow was hurt, the real body would be hurt, then they didn't need to care about the real body at all. In this case, wouldn't their statement have a loophole? Chapter 336, Awakening. Bai Luo couldn't help but stop where he was. He continued to think in that place with a bad look on his face. Those shadows didn't expect that Bai Luo had seen through their illusions and was still circling around in that place. What should they do next? According to the instructions, they still had to find trouble with Zairotu and Yangchen. Those shadows were like nothing happened, still walking in that place. They were looking for an opportunity to continue to walk to the side of Yangchen and Zairotu and stimulate them severely. In this way, as long as there is one success, then their plan can be fully implemented. At that time, Bai Luo would definitely have no way to stand on the side of Zairotu and the others. so these shadows would definitely get more benefits. Wait a minute, the two of us will go over and pretend to bump into them accidentally, and then the two of us will ridicule them. Bai Luo won't say anything. You saw it, Bai Luo just scolded us just now. Besides that, we didn't do anything, so there is no need to worry that Bai Luo will hurt us because of these things. Shadow Xiaotu was very confident at this time, as if he had seen through Bai Luo's nature. But now the truth is about to be revealed. Bai Luo felt that his idea was right. If it was as they said, only the shadow would be injured, and the main body would be injured. Then they could kill the main body. In this way, if the shadows wanted to be independent, they could be independent. Anyway, the main body would not be affected by the shadows. If so, wouldn't the shadows have already killed the main body? How could they follow Bai Luo? So this is the biggest problem. Could it be that what they said is actually the opposite? In fact, they will be injured only when the main body is injured, and their injury will not affect the main body. In this way, it seems to explain why they have not attacked Xiaotu and our Yangchen until now. Bai Luo felt that he had finally figured out these things, and he couldn't help but laugh at that place. Really, they are still deceiving me there, saying that hurting them will hurt Xiaotu, but I didn't expect it to be the other way around. They are so insidious, knowing which words will attract my attention more easily, otherwise, they won't do it. At this time, Bai Luo looked at the shadows walking in front of him, and he was very disgusted with them. However, Bai Luo felt that his thoughts were reasonable, but he still had to test them. Only in this way could he be sure. If he failed, Bai Luo would definitely let them know in advance, so Bai Luo had to do some experiments. Only after this idea was truly verified, Bai Luo would have the courage to continue. Moreover, Bai Luo would not tell them. He planned to secretly tell our Yangchen and Xiaotu about these things, and let them cooperate with him to do some experiments. The two of them were the most capable of reacting, so Bai Luo planned to wait for a while, and tell Xiaotu and our Yangchen the secrets he had discovered. Bai Luo felt that what he thought was right, so the look in his eyes when he looked at those shadows had become completely different. Naked disgust. Bai Luo wished that they would leave this place quickly, so that they would not be affected by these things anymore. Otherwise, Bai Luo didn't know what they would do next. Bai Luo really didn't like the personalities of these people. They belonged to the dark side of those people, so they would definitely do something bad. Now that something like this had happened, Bai Luo could understand it, but he didn't want to say anything to them. It always felt like they were doing these things here on purpose, so in this way, it was obvious how much influence they had on these things. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done these things from the beginning, so until now, they had to persist in this place. As long as there was a chance to solve these things, they would definitely be able to complete these things. Up to now, they seemed to have thought about these things very thoroughly. As long as someone could help them and settle all this, then the final result of these things would definitely be as Bai Luo thought. Finally, I feel relieved. As long as they don't affect Xiaotu and other people, then for me, it's all the same. As long as we can get rid of them all, then we will definitely be able to go on safely. The saint walked beside Bai Luo and found that something was wrong with Bai Luo. Bai Luo seemed to be smiling in that place, as if he knew something incredible. The saint wanted to ask him about it, but Bai Luo winked at the saint, as if telling him that he had a secret. And this secret was about the shadows that they couldn't deal with in front of them. Now the saint could feel from Bai Luo's eyes that Bai Luo had made a new discovery, otherwise he wouldn't be so excited. Now the saint was particularly happy. If she could really deal with these shadows, for the saint, she finally got what she wanted. She had already seen that these shadows were unwilling, and they were even whimsical, and wanted to go to the most important place for her. She didn't know where they got the courage. Now Bai Luo's expression and action seemed to tell him that his idea could finally be realized, so now the saint could rest assured to continue in this place. The saint was a little excited now, but she knew that, since Bai Luo didn't say it, he shouldn't show it too obviously, otherwise it would arouse their suspicion. Now Bai Luo was watching quietly in that place, without saying anything. From Bai Luo's expression, it can be felt that they seemed to have made a new breakthrough in these things. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. Someone can give them a surprise, otherwise they won't be so excited. Now the saint is particularly happy, as long as they can deal with these shadows. For number 5, it is what they want. Now they can finally rest assured. The saint especially believes in Bai Luo. He thought from the beginning that Bai Luo must have a way to solve these things, and Bai Luo's expression naturally told him that the saint's consideration was not a problem. They are really about to have a way to crack these shadows. Let's see if the shadows dare to be arrogant in this place. Bai Luo was now very calm. He came to the side of Xiaotu and our Yangchen and said to them, I have good news to tell you too. Come here quickly. Chapter 337 Happy Event. At this time, Xiaotu and our Yangchen could clearly feel how excited Bai Luo was. They could guess that something good must have happened to them, otherwise, Bai Luo would not have been so excited all of a sudden. So they couldn't help but laugh at that place, looking at Bai Luo, and said to Bai Luo, what good news, have you found a way to deal with them? When they were talking at this time, they were communicating in secret language. These secret languages would not be known by the outside world. This was a way for them to communicate with each other, and Bai Luo felt that this method was the safest. Those people didn't know what they were talking about, so the final result was only known to them. All these arrangements could make them understand what the final result would be, so they used this method. Only then could they really cover up these secrets. As long as those shadows didn't know, Bai Luo and the others could talk about it as much as they wanted. Now, Xiaotu and our Yangchen should be the happiest among these people. After all, they were the ones who were deeply poisoned. Now after hearing Bai Luo's words, they were very excited and wanted to go and see what Bai Luo was talking about. Bai Luo saw how happy they were, so he smiled and said to them, don't worry, what I told you is definitely something you should be happy about, but we should not show it too obviously now, otherwise once these shadows know that we have understood their secret, it will not be so simple. After hearing what Bai Luo said, Xiaotu and our Yangchen had restrained their tempers. They knew that they had to do what Bai Luo said, so they could not be too excited, so they nodded. Bai Luo pretended that nothing happened and continued to walk in that place. Now they were familiar with Bai Luo's current pace, so no one said anything because of these things, especially Bai Luo and the others, who simply hid their excitement in their hearts and wandered around in that place. As long as they figured out these things, they would definitely let these shadows know how powerful they are. Bai Luo now felt that he had to tell these things to the saint girl first, otherwise they would keep thinking about it. What exactly is the good news that Bai Luo wants to tell them? So after thinking about this, Bai Luo already understood what he should do next. Bai Luo is very well planned, and he already knows how to do it. He will not be affected by these things. Now Bai Luo is the happiest one among these people. He now understands what he should do. Those shadows can feel that Bai Luo has stopped, so when they turn around, they see that they are all gathered together. It seems that something has happened. They can't help but have some doubts. What are you doing? Why don't you come over quickly? Do you want to change something? After hearing such questions, Bai Luo didn't understand why they were so excited. They just walked slowly for a while, and these shadows became suspicious of them, so Bai Luo laughed at this time. You don't have to panic like this. We didn't do anything, and we've been doing what you said from the beginning. But you're still doubting us here. Isn't that a bit inappropriate? After Bai Luo finished speaking, he looked at them calmly. His expression was indifferent. Even if the shadows could sense that Bai Luo and his friends were secretly discussing something, they couldn't show it. So they could only turn their heads around and didn't say anything. But their eyes still fell on Bai Luo and his friends. What are they doing? Why do I always feel that they are talking about something behind our backs? It's not something that they found out about, right? After thinking about this, the shadows didn't know what to say. They didn't want these things to happen, because if these things happened, they would be the most vulnerable. They had worked so hard to get such a comfortable life. If they were changed just because of this, then these shadows would regret it. Don't scare yourself here. You don't really think that they can really find out these things. They are obviously joking here. Anyway, as long as we stay here, the final result will definitely be what we think. Don't deceive yourself here, okay? They didn't seem to realize the danger, and Shadow Bunny, as the leader, was calmer and smiled at them. They are right. If you really think that this is a very dangerous thing, then we don't need to be together anymore. It seems that everyone has been together for so long and still hasn't understood the importance of these things. It doesn't matter. I don't believe they dare to do anything. After saying this, they seemed to have completely understood the secret, so as long as they could stay here, then in the end, the simplest thing for them was what they wanted to see the most. So at this time, the shadows listened to Shadow Bunny's words, and didn't think about it anymore. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. Since you have said so, we will not be afraid of anything. With your guarantee, we can stay here. It should be quite safe. After they said this, they seemed to be able to feel the problem, so they said such words so calmly. Until now, Bai Luo still pretended to be indifferent, and did not say the rest. Most people who saw Bai Luo's expression would understand that he was just suppressing his excitement. Otherwise, he would not be like this now. After thinking of this, Bai Luo could finally breathe a sigh of relief. So after the shadows finished discussing, Bai Luo used his ability. He conveyed what he wanted to say to the saint, the great elder, Ziotu and our Yang Chen little by little. In this way, they would know what they were excited about. Be quiet now. What I want to tell you next is definitely shocking news for you. I just found out about this news, so I haven't told you yet. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 338 Whispering. I was just thinking, can I say all these words out loud? I found a point that is particularly worthy of our suspicion. At the beginning, they always said that, because they are shadows, and Ziotu and our Yang Chen are their real bodies, if they are affected, then the real bodies will be affected. So we were very nice to them at that time, for fear that they would hurt themselves, and thus hurt Ziotu and the others. But I just figured out something, one that we have never considered before. That is, why did we believe what they said so easily? First, if these things are really as they said, as long as they can control everything, it means that they will not be affected by Ziotu and the others, so these shadows can completely kill Ziotu. Anyway, whether Ziotu lives or dies, they can survive in this place, and they hate the real bodies so much. How could they not attack the real bodies? So there is only one possibility, that is, they are lying, and the real truth should be the opposite. After Ziotu and the others, as the real bodies, were injured, these shadows would be hurt, so those shadows did not dare to kill Bai Luo and the others. After saying this, Ziotu and our Yang Chen completely understood why Bai Luo said this, which was puzzling. It turned out to be because of this. Is that so? It turned out to be like this. I really didn't expect it just now. No wonder they never attacked us too, but just ridiculed them there. If they hated us so much, they would have attacked us long ago, right? After saying this, it was obvious that they finally recognized these things, otherwise, it would not have become like this. After saying this, they can finally breathe a sigh of relief, because they have understood Bai Luo's underlying meaning. As long as it is the reason in this aspect, it will be easier for them to deal with it. They don't have to worry about it anymore. As long as they find a way to solve them all, then the final answer will definitely be what they think. Next, they just need to wait here, and don't worry about other things. After all, they have the ability to change these things, as long as they can thoroughly understand the routines of these shadows next. So you should know how excited I was when I heard the news just now. This means that we finally don't have to be commanded by them. Once we are commanded by them, we will not be able to attack them. Now that we know their weaknesses, I will do an experiment later. As long as our experiment successfully proves that what I just said is true, then I will attack them and will not let them ride on our heads anymore. When Bai Luo said these words, it can be felt that he had enough, otherwise, he would not have thought of this so quickly, especially Bai Luo. He didn't want Xiao Tu and our Yang Chen to be controlled and bullied by them again. So Bai Luo suddenly figured out these things. It must be said that it was because they cared about these things that they were able to solve this puzzle so quickly. The saint was very excited now, but he didn't show it. He just cast a look of approval at Bai Luo because he could really feel how much effort Bai Luo had put in to research these things. This is not something that ordinary people can achieve. But Bai Luo felt, "Oh, this is what I should do. Since I'm the leader of these people, I must take good care of them. I should leave this place and should not put them in any danger." So now I had finally corrected the mistake I made at the beginning. Now Bai Luo can stay here with peace of mind as long as the final result is good. Let's pretend that nothing happened and continue walking in this place. Those shadows will not notice this. After all, they are now fully immersed in other things. As long as we disguise ourselves well, I will tell Xiao Tu and our Yang Chen to do the experiment later. The Saint and the Great Elder, you just continue to do it as usual. The Great Elder was convinced by Bai Luo's strategy. Bai Luo really considered all aspects, and he knew how to confirm these things. Therefore, Bai Luo's current changes made them feel a little surprised. Your transformation is the first time that people can see that you really have some ability. Aren't the things we are doing now what you said at the beginning? Anyway, as long as someone can solve these things, the final result will be as you expected. The current elder silently supported Bai Luo in his heart. Of course, he didn't say these things. After all, Bai Luo just said that these things must be kept secret. Only they know, and they can't let the people in front of them know, otherwise, they have no way to hide these things and then attack them. So now they are able to stay here so calmly, because they already know this. As long as our final ending is good, then all this is actually tolerable. After they said this, they could obviously feel that they seemed to have a new understanding of these things, so as long as they can make more changes next, the final things will be easier. Read the error-free version at 69 bookbar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. After all, it's because you already understand these things. If you still want to change something, you still have to think about it in advance. Bai Luo was now in that place, and he slowly told them, and he didn't say anything else. Now they are still the same as before, nothing has changed, so they can completely deceive these shadows, and make them mistakenly believe that Bai Luo and the others are still kept in the dark like before. Those shadows are still planning to touch Xiao Tu and our Yang Chen, but now Xiao Tu and our Yang Chen are more relaxed than before, and they will not be angry because of the provocation of the shadows. They already know their secrets, so it is very easy to deal with these things next. As long as they can stay until the end, then this matter will become very easy. We have been talking to you for so long, why are you still behind? Chapter 339, Testing. Bai Luo, what exactly do you want to do? Don't you think you have stopped listening to us? When the shadows were questioning, Bai Luo and his team slowly followed them. When the shadows saw them united, they couldn't help but wonder if they had learned something. Otherwise, why would they suddenly become so united? No way, they must have known something. Could it be that our initial plan was discovered by them? The shadows thought so, but Shadow Rabbit denied it. No way, if they found out, would they still have this expression? Wouldn't they have already attacked us? I don't think it's what you think. Shadow Rabbit didn't think about it. He was still thinking about how to anger the little rabbit, so that Bai Luo could provide them with more benefits. Of course, the shadows didn't guess that Bai Luo had seen through these things so quickly, so they all nodded there, acknowledging that everything the little rabbit said was the truth, so they didn't worry about these things anymore. It can be seen that they were able to stay in this place until the end because of the trust they had with each other, instead of questioning randomly in this place, like at the beginning. Now that they can all gather in this place, it means that they are the same. Even if there is a problem at that time, it cannot be blamed on Shadow Bunny. After all, other people think so, so what can Shadow Bunny change? So they walked slowly in front. When Bai Luo, Daoist and the bunny gathered together, they planned to conduct a test on them. At this time, they passed by a village. In this village, some people were wandering around. Bai Luo felt that this experiment seemed to have to be postponed a little because they didn't know whether the people in front of them were enemies or friends. So after seeing them, Bai Luo was a little nervous and didn't understand what kind of people they were. Do we really have to act according to what they said? Let's wait a while. After all, we don't know what the current situation is, so don't think that these things can be believed for the time being. Bai Luo came in front of the crowd and talked with those people in that place. During the conversation, Bai Luo realized that these people had always lived here, and after some things happened recently, they all wanted to escape from this place, but found that they had no way to leave their homeland, so they could only stay in this place. Bai Luo asked in that place, and those people noticed that Bai Luo and his friends came from outside and immediately tied them up. Bai Luo was shocked by this sudden change and didn't understand what these people were going to do. Bai Luo immediately said to them, "What are you doing? You are going to attack us. Don't think that we are lambs that you can slaughter at will. Let us go quickly, otherwise I will attack you later. Don't blame me for being rude." Bai Luo could understand that they did this because they were forced to make a living, but this definitely touched Bai Luo's bottom line. What Bai Luo hated most was that others used force against him, and those people simply didn't take Bai Luo's words to heart and laughed at him wantonly. Do we have to listen to what you said? Who do you think you are? You really think you are so powerful? Don't worry, we won't do what you say. After saying this, they discussed with each other and tied Bai Luo and the others to the other side. Bai Luo didn't have patience at this time and directly used his own strength to blow up the ropes and stood in front of everyone. Zero2 and the others did the same thing, and the shadows were even more annoyed. It was the first time for them to be tied up by others, so they were a little angry and didn't understand what the people in front of them wanted to do. The villagers didn't expect that Bai Luo and his men would be so fast. They thought that they would use another trick to firmly control them here, but they didn't expect that these people would react so quickly. They couldn't help but say in that place, "Who are you? Aren't you the natives of this place? Otherwise, how could you be so powerful? I didn't expect that I would run into a thorn this time." When they said these words, they could feel that they were a little disappointed, but they didn't want to let Bai Luo go. It seemed that they could feel that Bai Luo and his men were their best business. If they let Bai Luo and his men go, they would not be able to get what they wanted in this place next. So those people at this time had no intention of giving up and kept staring at Bai Luo and his men. Bai Luo couldn't help but stand there, and with a wave of his hand, two people fell down. After seeing their companions being attacked by Bai Luo, those people hurriedly questioned in that place, "What are you doing? We didn't do anything to you. Why did you attack them like this? Did you do it on purpose?" After saying this, Bai Luo just felt that these people were blaming others, and they didn't know what was right and what was wrong. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Please, you tied us up first, but now you want to bite us back here. I really don't know what you are thinking. Tell me who you are and why you are attacking me here. If you can give me a reasonable explanation, I might let you go. Bai Luo didn't want to have too much entanglement with them at this time. After all his thoughts were now on dealing with those shadows. Suddenly so many annoying things appeared, which made Bai Luo a little annoyed. After hearing this, they all laughed at that place. "Who are we? This is a famous robber village. As long as you come here, you must leave your money on you. Otherwise, don't think you are strong, but we are many. With so many people, we can definitely stop you." After saying this, a group of villagers suddenly emerged from behind them. They all stood there, holding quite ordinary weapons in their hands, just wanting to fight to the death with Bai Luo and the others. When Bai Luo saw this battle, he realized that this was a meaningless fight. It seemed that these people just needed something, so they took this path. So Bai Luo took out some valuable things from his pocket and handed them to the person in front of him and said to them, "This should be enough. Hurry up and get out of the way. I have other things to do. Don't bother me here while I'm still in a good mood. Otherwise I will attack you later." Chapter 340 Experiment. Bai Luo was calm enough to talk to them now. If they still didn't know what was good for them, then Bai Luo would definitely not let them have a good time. So at this moment, Bai Luo stared at them. Unfortunately, the villagers still didn't realize the seriousness of these things. They were still standing there, and they didn't seem to want to leave this place at all. They hadn't robbed passers-by for a long time. They had nothing here. If they wanted to exchange money, they had to use this method. Unfortunately, they ran into Bai Luo today, and he was still thinking. Bai Luo was very angry that they interrupted the things he had just thought about. Isn't this destroying the things he had just figured out with great difficulty? Now these things are in front of Bai Luo, which really makes him very angry. So Bai Luo's tone became bad. "I've already told you guys, don't stop me here. I'm not in a good mood. If we continue to tangle with you here, you are no match for me. Just leave here quickly." After saying this, Bai Luo looked at them with a cold look in his eyes, and it was obvious that Bai Luo no longer cared to talk to them here. Even so, those people still didn't realize the complexity of these things. They still stood there firmly, as if these things would not be affected by anything. So now they didn't realize the importance of these things. If it was in the past, they might have been able to see Bai Luo's expression, but now they didn't know whether they should retreat from this place, which made Bai Luo speechless. "Haven't I told you that, if you don't leave this place, aren't you afraid that I will really attack you? I have been patient with you enough, so don't provoke me here." After saying this, Bai Luo became even tougher. Gao Yangchen stood beside Bai Luo, fearing that Bai Luo would lose control and attack them directly. After all, they all knew it very well. On Bai Luo's side, he would not pursue some things too much, but once Bai Luo was unhappy, then they were really finished. These people obviously hadn't seen Bai Luo's face clearly, so Gao Yangchen said to them, "Haven't I told you that? Leave quickly. Aren't these things enough for you to take away?" And the things that Bai Luo had just handed out made those people look down on them even more. They felt that, since Bai Luo could give these things easily, it meant that he had better things. So as long as they defeated Bai Luo and the others, they could get more treasures, which would be much more than what Bai Luo sent them. So they still stayed there, talking toughly. "You don't think we will accept your charity so easily, do you? Since you can give us so many things, it means you have more things. Brothers, don't waste your words with them. Charge." After saying this, they went straight to Bai Luo, which made Bai Luo laugh in anger. He directly blasted those people with force. Before those villagers came to Bai Luo's side, they were already knocked to the ground by Bai Luo's power. They all felt that their bodies were attacked by shock waves, and this attack was very strong, so they had no way to resist it. At this time, they didn't know what to say, and could only watch all this coldly in that place. It seemed that these things were beyond their imagination, otherwise, they would not be so surprised. "I have already told you, why can't you understand this? Since I have already told you, you only need to accept the following things. Why do you have to provoke me here?" After saying this, they seemed to be able to understand the secrets in it better. Most people might do what Bai Luo thought. Anyway, as long as someone can solve these problems, Bai Luo doesn't have to be angry with them in this place. Seeing Bai Luo so angry, those people had to give way. They could feel that they must be injured. After all, the pain in the body can't be deceived, so they finally understood what was good for them, and didn't want to stand there and continue to say anything. They quickly left that place and headed to other places. This was a new development for Bai Luo, especially when most people saw these things. It was proved that it would be as easy as Bai Luo thought. "So you still know what it means to be humble. You have to let me beat you up before you know it. Take advantage of my bad mood and leave quickly." Those shadows didn't know why Bai Luo was so cruel and thought he was angry about something, so they couldn't help but talk in that place. It seems that Bai Luo's attitude towards us is not bad. At least he didn't attack us. Otherwise, we can't say it's easy like now. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. When they said this, they were all a little surprised. They thought that Bai Luo had been restraining his temper towards them, but they didn't expect that Bai Luo would be like this when it came to other people. So at this time, they couldn't say anything more, for fear that these things would lead to other problems. Okay, don't talk nonsense here. Since we have confirmed that these things are going well, why do we still have to consider this? As long as Bai Luo doesn't threaten us, it will be fine. After saying this, they finally understood this point, so they followed Bai Luo quietly. After Bai Luo drove those people away, he felt a little better. Gao Yangchen and Xiaota could see that Bai Luo was venting his anger. After all, after he learned the secrets of those shadows just now, Bai Luo felt that he had been kept in the dark and actually listened to those shadows so much, so Bai Luo had to speed up his experiment and must prove that these people had nothing to do with Xiaota and the others. Then Bai Luo could deal with these shadows at will. They didn't have any handle that could threaten him, so Bai Luo could completely freely complete these things in this place. So once he thought of this, it was a very exciting thing for Bai Luo. Chapter 341 Clearance. Because he could feel that these things would have a good development in the future, but now they didn't understand how important these things were to them. If it were someone else, they might have realized that Bai Luo had learned more information and would have hidden these things at the first time. Unfortunately, these shadows didn't have such sensitivity at all and stayed there. Those shadows seemed to be sure that their lies would not be exposed. Bai Luo called Xiaota and Gao Yangchen again, asked them to walk beside him, and continued to talk with them in that place. After passing through that village, we will do an experiment. I will attack you, and then you will be injured. Then see if those shadows will be affected. If it is really like I guessed, if the main body is injured, the shadow will be injured. Then after you are injured, the shadow bunny will definitely be in trouble. After Bai Luo said this, he was interrupted by Gao Yangchen. Gao Yangchen shook his head and told Bai Luo, "Let me do it, because that shadow bunny is quite smart." The shadow next to him, Gao Yangchen, didn't fight us last time, so he shouldn't be on guard. In this way, if you attack me, he may not be able to react, so we can really see the reactions of those shadows. After listening to Gao Yangchen's analysis, Bai Luo felt that it made some sense. It was indeed true. The shadow bunny was very scheming and seemed to be staring at Bai Luo all the time. Bai Luo might not be able to use his own moves, so they could only wait until the next resting place, pretend to attack the bunny casually, and then see if anything would go wrong. So Bai Luo turned around. Okay, I was wrong again. It's not the bunny, it's Gao Yangchen. Let's wait and see what happens here. After they had decided on this plan, everyone returned to their positions, as if nothing had happened just now. Those shadows had been there, mocking the bunny and Gao Yangchen. You two are not still here thinking that Bai Luo brought you two around because he admires you, right? It's just that you two are too easy to control, so Bai Luo is so willing to manipulate you. Otherwise, why doesn't he control others? Shadow Rabbit and Shadow Gao Yangchen's words have made Xiaota and Gao Yangchen tired. No matter what they say, over and over again, there are only those words. After hearing so much, they have become numb. Don't talk nonsense here. No matter what you say, we don't care. After Gao Yangchen said this, he looked at the shadows very calmly and didn't care about them at all. This made the shadow angry. I really didn't expect that I had finally come up with all this, but it turned out to be like this. In any case, I must rise quickly next, and I won't stop. After all, this is a huge shock to me. After hearing this, it is obvious that they care about each other about these things, so they just need to stay in this place, and the final result will definitely be an easy victory. Especially now that Bai Luo has understood what the most important point is, there is no need to say anything else. As long as they can solve all this, it will be the simplest for them. Especially now that they have understood this. Even if those shadows keep staring at Bai Luo can personally demonstrate his heroic spirit to them within a limited time. Bai Luo is now praying silently in that place, and the shadows walking in front of him don't know what the problem is. Just now Bai Luo protected them behind him, and now there is no problem. They walked in front of Bai Luo and his group again. At this time, they were all surprised to find that all the things had been taken away. They were really very strange, otherwise, they would not be the last ones. So now if Bai Luo and his group still can't find it, then there is a high possibility that there will be real problems, especially now it is still like this, and there is no other change. Now these things have to be said. After all, no one wants to cause more things because of these trivial things. Bai Luo continued to walk slowly in that place. In fact, Bai Luo was always observing the places where they could stop and rest. The place just now was actually very good. If it weren't for those things, it would be great. So now Bai Luo finally understood where the most complicated things were. If he was still angry about this matter, then the final result would definitely make them angry. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. Especially now, these things have been exposed. Bai Luo has become the leader of these people, so Bai Luo's every move is in the eyes of those people. So when those shadows jumped in this place just now, Bai Luo just looked back at them. These shadows could feel that Bai Luo was already watching them. If they continue to insist in this place, they might be attacked later. So it's better to delay a little longer. After all, you don't know what will happen suddenly, and you still have to think about doing something. Now Bai Luo has understood the important point, so he continued to search and think in that place. The Saint and the Great Elder were the most relaxed among these people. They didn't say anything, but in this place, they would all do what Bai Luo said, and there would be no doubts. Not to mention that the Saint believed in Bai Luo very much, and the Great Elder had just seen Bai Luo's responsibility, so he naturally recognized him to a certain extent. So it would become like this, and there was no need to worry about anything. Now they just need to stay in this place steadily, and then there is no need to worry. So after arriving here, they all started to go to other places quickly. If someone else said that this thing is not too heavy, then it is simply the most wrong place, and there is no way to solve it completely. The thing that Bai Luo wants to do most now is to implement his own experiment, so Bai Luo must find a suitable opportunity that will not affect their judgment, and can make his idea succeed in the first place. So Bai Luo is walking slowly in that place at this time. Chapter 342, Unexpected Gains. They passed the village and walked a long path until they reached a forest. Although Bai Luo felt that the spiritual energy here was very abundant, it must have a certain absorption effect for masters like them. Sure enough, after Bai Luo stopped, the shadows didn't understand what was wrong with Bai Luo and the others, and they all watched from that place. Unfortunately, they were shadows and couldn't absorb power like Bai Luo and the others. So even if they saw Bai Luo and the others all stopped here, they couldn't say anything. After all, they had done this before. If it was still like this, then there was no need to continue. Especially now that Bai Luo has seen these things very thoroughly. Only people with his personality can see through all this. If it was someone else, they would definitely think that Bai Luo's actions had some flaws. There would definitely be bigger problems at that time, so Bai Luo's method now was actually very smart. Let them solve their own problems. He just came out to mediate at the critical moment. Apart from that, Bai Luo didn't have any other role. As for the other people, for Bai Luo, they were not worth caring about. These shadows had to stay here and wait for Bai Luo and his friends to absorb the power before leaving this place. They won't cheat, will they? Just to deceive us. They can also produce such a good thing for them. Do you have paranoia? I think they may really just want to get something this time. If we find that there is no way to solve it later, then we must investigate it carefully at that time. Otherwise, there will be no way to stay here. Now they have understood what these things are for them, so no matter what, they don't need to keep talking about it here. As long as the result is the same, there will be no problem in the end. The Saint came to Bai Luo's side at this time, talked to them for a few words, and then went to the other side. The shadows made enough space for Bai Luo and his friends, because they were really afraid that, if Bai Luo and his friends didn't absorb it well, they would blame it on them. They didn't want to take the blame for Bai Luo and his friends, and they didn't want to have too much to do with Bai Luo and his friends. So at this time they all moved away from there, and seeing that the shadows had left, Bai Luo opened his eyes, that had just been closed, and scanned that place, looking at the other people who were still absorbing power in this place, and then said to them, "Everyone performed well just now, so next, we just need to continue to complete our plan. Don't worry, except for Xiaotu and our Yang Chen, the Saint and the Great Elder. You just watch from the side. Once they do something wrong, help me control it the first time, so that we can really solve all this. Otherwise, we don't know how long we will be threatened by them." After Bai Luo said this, the Saint and the Great Elder both agreed very much. They all believed that Bai Luo's words were the most likely magic weapon to solve all this, so no matter what Bai Luo said, the Saint and the Great Elder would not resist at all. "Don't worry, Bai Luo, let's absorb this strange power first, and then see what other actions those shadows will take." Bai Luo understood that the reason why those shadows didn't come up was not because they were good people, but because they were still thinking about how to treat Bai Luo and his men. They just didn't want to make Bai Luo angry and delay their progress. Those people didn't know how far it was from the place they just left to the last underground ruins. Otherwise they would have realized that Bai Luo had been slowing down the pace for the whole day. Otherwise they might have arrived there long ago. So this was a very complicated matter for Bai Luo, unless they changed these things. So at this time, those shadows were thinking about it there. Anyway, they are going to take us to that place. It won't be too slow. If they are dissatisfied at that time, we can wait until we find something better there, and then we can target them. Don't forget, Bai Luo among them is not a fuel saving lamp. If we still attack here, the final result will definitely be what you don't want to see. After they said this, they nodded to each other very clearly. Let them absorb the power in that place. We just need to wait until they have stood up, and then continue on the road with them. Those shadows now have a chance to rest temporarily, so wait a minute. If you want them to take the initiative to stay and rest, it may take a while. Bai Luo planned to take advantage of the time when they were all relaxed and let Yang Chen take action to test whether it would affect them. So Bai Luo continued to focus on absorbing those powers at this time. This power that came from nowhere made them feel radiant. That kind of magical power, implanted into their bodies, made them suddenly understand how easy these things were, so they just needed to cooperate with Bai Luo in this place. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. So each of them, as if these things really happened, continued to absorb things calmly in that place, as if the things around them had nothing to do with them, which greatly dispelled the curiosity of those shadows. Who knows how long they will stay here? Let's leave quickly. I really don't want to accompany them. I always feel that they are wasting time here. After they said this, they immediately attracted some other people's words. Later, when they couldn't say anything more, they didn't say anything else. The remaining shadows continued to sit in that place, as if they had gotten used to it, and would not leave this place easily. Although Bai Luo did not take those things back from that place, he applied some things from other places, and found that it seemed that what they said was right. Now, when these shadows stay in this place peacefully, Bai Luo's power will be exerted to the greatest extent. At that time, those people will not be Bai Luo's opponents at all, so they can stay in this place at ease. Those shadows count the time. As long as they think the time is about right, they will come to this place to check on Bai Luo and the others. Chapter 343, Calm. So now Bai Luo is very calm. He has come to his senses. Because Bai Luo's level is very high, the power he can absorb is actually very low. In this case, he must find another way. So at this time, they seem to have understood the problem. If someone can really change all this, it will be a real turnaround for them. Anyway, so many people are watching here. Most people probably understand why they do this. So Bai Luo took the lead to come out from among them and came to the shadows. Those shadows didn't know what Bai Luo was going to do when he suddenly came here, but they were all alert at the first time and looked at Bai Luo in that place. After Bai Luo noticed their expressions, he laughed in that place. "What are you doing? I didn't say anything else. Why are you so wary of me?" So after arriving here, they all looked at Bai Luo from a distance and just said to Bai Luo, "We are not afraid of you doing something to us. We just don't want to contact you. Just tell us here, how long will it take? We have to leave quickly. It's almost a day, but we haven't even walked half the way. Are you really not doing this on purpose?" Bai Luo knew that he had to comfort them at this time so that they would not be able to notice anything. So Bai Luo laughed. "Don't you believe me? Since I have already promised you, it will come true no matter what, so you don't have to doubt the truth and falsehood of these things here. It's better to think about what to do next. I don't want to explain too much to you. After all, there will always be a day when everything will come to light." After Bai Luo said this, he continued to stand around those shadows. Seeing Bai Luo so calm, those shadows should understand that, if he didn't have the ability, he would not dare to be so confident. So at this time they all stayed there quietly. Soon, Xiao Tu, Bao Chen, the Saint, and the Great Elder all finished absorbing it, and the power faded from this place, as if someone had deliberately set it up in this place, to provide them with power. At this time, the four people had woken up, and when they turned around, they saw Bai Luo standing among the shadows. They thought they had been exposed, so they didn't dare to make too big moves at this time, for fear of arousing the suspicion of those people. At this time, Bai Luo understood their concerns, and said at that place, "Come here quickly, otherwise you won't know where to go later." Bai Luo's call made Xiao Tu and the others run over directly. At this time, after seeing that they had come over, the shadows still stood there and looked at Bai Luo, not knowing what Bai Luo was going to say. "I don't have any other intentions. The reason why we gather here is to discuss the issue of resting on the road. After we walk for a morning, we have to stop and rest for a while. After walking for an afternoon, we also have to rest for a while. At night, we will be free to sleep here. If we ensure this rule, there will be no problems when we arrive there." After saying this, they can feel that this seems to be the result of Bai Luo's careful consideration, so Xiao Tu and the others will naturally not have any problems. However, the shadows at this time are a little worried. If this happens, will there be any accidents? So they all said to Bai Luo, "Let us think about it first, and then promise you. Since you all have no questions, let's continue walking. On the way, we will naturally give you an answer." When the shadows said these words, they were very stiff, as if what they said was true. It was simply unreasonable. I don't understand where their confidence came from, and they can't tell how important these things are. So at this time, they couldn't help laughing at that place. "Really? You don't really think that you can settle these things, right? Anyway, we can trust you, that's all." At this time, Bai Luo looked at the shadows. They continued to gather in that place. Bai Luo didn't say anything, but took Xiao Tu and the others away from there, as if to give them a chance to talk on their own. The shadows all put forward their own opinions, but after talking around, it can be seen that they all seem to hold different views, otherwise it would not be like this, so they couldn't help but laugh and say in that place, "It seems that everyone has different ideas. So why continue to convince each other here? Why don't we listen to Bai Luo and the others this time? Anyway, rest is a buffer opportunity for us. These shadows will weaken their strength at night, so they must find an opportunity to make up for this defect. It seems that they can only go back to the underground ruins to know how to repair it. That's why they are so anxious to go back, because they hide this thing very well, and basically don't make too much movement at night, because once they are seen, wouldn't the secrets they have hidden for this period of time be wasted? Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. So after discussing for a long time, the shadows agreed with Bai Luo's statement, so Bai Luo looked at them again and explained these ideas to them and finally relaxed. Otherwise, they didn't know what would happen. Next, Bai Luo and his friends gathered together again, and the shadows came back to tell Bai Luo, "We can agree, but you must promise not to hurt us, otherwise as long as we find out once, we won't promote this model in this place. Let's go to the end right away. In this way, it will be easier for you and us." When Shadow Bunny said these words, he had already made his attitude clear. After listening to these, Bai Luo naturally knew that he couldn't perfunctorily deal with them here. Otherwise, once they really believed it, who knows what other problems might happen. So Bai Luo saw that they didn't mean to refuse, so he laughed. Okay, then we have reached an agreement, so let's continue from this place. We have to work harder, otherwise, we don't know how far the end is. Chapter 344, Strategy. After saying this, they didn't say anything to each other. Bai Luo still walked in front. The shadows didn't want to lead the way this time, but stayed behind Bai Luo quietly. They couldn't express any opinions. As long as Bai Luo made a decision, they could only be forced to obey in this place, so their freedom was reduced a little. The shadows didn't care too much. Bai Luo and his men didn't make a move just now at the estimated time, which was a bit of a missed opportunity. It seemed that Bai Luo and his men didn't think it through, so they didn't make a move easily. Otherwise, Bai Luo would have asked them to go out long ago. So at this time, Xiaotu and Ao Yangchen had to wait there. When Xiaotu heard Bai Luo asked Ao Yangchen to complete the task, he felt a little sad. After all, he didn't expect to change. So at this time, Xiaotu stayed there quietly, as if thinking about something. Ao Yangchen noticed that Xiaotu was in a bad mood, so he immediately stepped forward and held him in his arms. At that place, he smiled and said to him, "What are you thinking about here? You won't worry about anything, right? Don't forget, we are friends, so everything is easy to solve in front of us. If you have any questions, just say it directly. I will definitely help you settle these things." When Ao Yangchen said these words, his eyes stayed on Xiaotu. Xiaotu could feel Ao Yangchen's sincerity and suddenly felt that his anger was too strong. Why should he blame Ao Yangchen for these things? After all, Bai Luo's decision must be suitable for each of them. All they can do is support it here. Why should they question Bai Luo's decision? So at this time, Xiaotu immediately said to Ao Yangchen, "Ao Yangchen, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that just now. You are right. We must follow Bai Luo's arrangement, so I'm sorry for your hard work this time." After hearing this, Xiaotu looked at Ao Yangchen, and the little knot in his heart was solved by Ao Yangchen's sincerity. Ao Yangchen originally thought that Xiaotu would not care about these things, so he thought it was nothing, but he felt that Xiaotu was a little unhappy and thought he was tired and needed to ask. Unexpectedly, Xiaotu recovered his good mood by accident, which was the most important thing for Ao Yangchen. There was no need to fight for anything in that place, otherwise, there would definitely be bigger problems. Now they just have to act according to the plan, and at this time Bai Luo can feel the changes between them. When he walked there again, the relationship between Ao Yangchen and Xiaotu became as good as before. Although there may be some minor frictions in the middle, there is no need to keep worrying about it. As long as they no longer suspect each other because of these things, there will not be any big problems. Bai Luo now sees these things more thoroughly than anyone else. He doesn't want to say anything anymore. As long as he can stay in this place, all this can be tolerated. So after they crossed the woods, they came to the vicinity of a lake. Bai Luo stared at the clear lake water and found that the river kept flowing over there. There must be more things there, and maybe they can go to the place they want to go. Before they get there, they must be detained here completely, but Bai Luo has not waited for the notification sent by the system. He is still a little sad. He thought that he could know these things for such a long time. Unexpectedly, they found nothing, and they are still struggling to move forward in this place. This is a bit incredible for Bai Luo. Since they are unwilling to say anything, then as long as we stay here, there will be no big problem. So Bai Luo told Xiaotu and Ao Yangchen, "Do you see that river? I will deliberately knock Ao Yangchen into it, and then you, Ao Yangchen, will go down there and try to hurt yourself. In this way, I will observe the changes of Shadow Ao Yangchen on the shore. As long as the incident happens in time, they will be caught off guard, so Bai Luo must know the solution." The current elder and the saint are very supportive of Bai Luo's method. As long as they are attacked suddenly, they will not be prepared at all. You should be careful later, Ao Yangchen. You should pay attention to your own safety. If you feel something is wrong, stop immediately. Ao Yangchen could feel their concern for him. Bai Luo patted Ao Yangchen on the shoulder. It can be felt that Bai Luo trusted our Yang Chen enough to let him do it. So at this time, Zio too did not complain like before, but stood aside very obediently. Since they have already determined what they are going to use later, they must be calmer now. So they continued to walk in that place, in scattered places just like before. At this time, the shadows noticed the lake and some of them were attracted. They stared at the lake tightly and couldn't help saying they didn't expect there was such a clear place. It seems that the environment here should be good. They didn't expect that there would be a big show waiting for them later. But they were still kept in the dark and didn't know what would happen. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar first published this novel. Bai Luo saw that the shadows didn't notice this place, so he winked at Ao Yang Chen, asking Ao Yang Chen to find the right time to fall into the river and accidentally hurt himself. In this way, Bai Luo could observe the state of the shadow Ao Yang Chen in the first time, and the shadows wouldn't think that Ao Yang Chen and the others would fall in. So when Ao Yang Chen fell in, they must have paid full attention to it and didn't notice who was affected by these things. So they can break this lie that has been going on for a long time. As long as Bai Luo can be sure that these things are true, then he will have a better way to deal with these shadows. Anyway, they will be affected by the main body, so Bai Luo can use various methods to attack them so that all these shadows will die. Moreover, Bai Luo is sure that he can control his strength, and these shadows are the easiest to deal with. What Bai Luo originally wanted to consider can be verified soon, whether he should be afraid of these shadows anymore. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 345 Implementation. So now Bai Luo was a little excited, wondering if there would be any accidents when Ao Yang Chen performed it, and those shadows obviously didn't feel what Bai Luo and the others had planned. As long as the result of this experiment was really as they thought, then Bai Luo would definitely not let go of these shadows in front of him, and he would definitely find an opportunity to get rid of them all. Only then could Bai Luo really accomplish what he wanted to do smoothly. After all, these shadows had been challenging Bai Luo's bottom line for a long time. If Bai Luo couldn't make some changes to them this time, wouldn't it be a waste of their long time to attack? So when those shadows were staring at the lake intently, Ao Yang Chen had quietly come to the side of the lake. Those shadows hadn't noticed anything yet, especially the shadow bunny, who had given up his guard and looked at the things around him, not knowing what would happen. At this time, Ao Yang Chen pretended to slip and fell directly into the lake. The whole process was so fast that no one could see it at all. After all this happened, it was obvious that only Bai Luo and the others noticed that Ao Yang Chen was calling for help at that place. Bai Luo was just like the reverse of what happened just now, and he hurriedly shouted loudly at that place. Ao Yang Chen, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Ao Yang Chen, hold on, I'll save you now. After saying these words, Bai Luo immediately stepped forward and came to Ao Yang Chen's side, trying to pull him out of the lake. At this time, Ao Yang Chen found the right time and rubbed his legs on the rocks in the river. In this way, his thigh immediately oozes blood. The shadow Ao Yang Chen on the other side suddenly felt that he was suffocating, as if he had fallen into the water. He pressed his neck uncontrollably and looked at the shadows around him at that place. Those shadows knew that it seemed that something happened to Ao Yang Chen, so the shadow Ao Yang Chen was like this. They hurriedly looked at the shadow Ao Yang Chen at that place. Bai Luo had already pulled Ao Yang Chen out of the river. Ao Yang Chen was soaked, and there was an obvious scar on his right leg, which was bleeding. Zio too hurried forward and held him steadily in that place, letting him sit down. Bai Luo took this opportunity to turn around and found that the shadow Ao Yang Chen was in exactly the same state as Ao Yang Chen, with scars on his legs as well. He was also panting, as if he had just fallen halfway into the water. Bai Luo could finally conclude that it seemed that this experiment had really proved what he had guessed, that as long as the main body was hurt, the shadow would be hurt. Now all the truth was revealed. It seemed that the lies they had said at the beginning were really meant to deceive Bai Luo and let Bai Luo and the others relax their vigilance. I didn't expect you to do such an incredible thing. I thought too highly of you. Now let me show you how I will deal with you. When Bai Luo thought of this, his tone was filled with anger. He knew that he couldn't be impatient now. He had to take revenge on these shadows step by step. These shadows hadn't noticed that they had fallen into Bai Luo's trap and were still checking the injuries of Shadow Yang. Shadow Bunny remained calm and told the shadows, "Don't forget that we have to hide. Don't show too much panic and don't let Bai Luo and the others see it." However, Bai Luo had already observed this from the side and successfully caught the handle of these shadows. Bai Luo finally knew how to target them next and would never let them go easily. Because these shadows were too cunning and actually used this method to deceive Bai Luo. They were simply trampling on Bai Luo's bottom line in the place that Bai Luo disliked the most. Moreover, Bai Luo realized that those shadows were very smart and would use some tricks to win the sympathy and even trust of Bai Luo and the others. Bai Luo understood that no matter what the shadows said next, he could not believe it anymore. Otherwise, he would definitely be kept in the dark. At this time, Bai Luo pretended that nothing had happened. Gao Yangchen looked at Bai Luo inquiringly, wanting to see if he had just recorded the performance of the shadow. Feeling Gao Yangchen's question, Bai Luo smiled and nodded at him. Gao Yangchen finally breathed a sigh of relief after seeing that the task was successfully completed. At this time, Bai Luo did not hesitate at all and directly used his own power to repair all the wounds on Gao Yangchen's body. Since the play was over, Gao Yangchen could not be allowed to be injured because of this matter. So Bai Luo's reaction was very fast, and he immediately made Gao Yangchen healthy, and the shadow Gao Yangchen beside him also returned to normal again. This fast was completely over, and those shadows on the side finally breathed a sigh of relief. Everyone on Bai Luo's side already knew the truth of the matter. They really didn't expect that they had been kept in the dark all along. They were like fools, which made people speechless. So at this time, Xiao too whispered to Bai Luo, "Now we don't have to be afraid of them. Anyway, if we get hurt, they will get hurt, so it should be easier to deal with them next time." Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus book bar first published this novel. However, Bai Luo felt that it was better not to alert the enemy. Of course, they must be more rigorous now. Any mistake in the middle will lead to their previous efforts being wasted. So Bai Luo said to them at this time, "Everyone should wait for me to observe it. The leader should be captured first. Let me see how their small group is divided." Bai Luo thought so at this time. He had to control these shadows as soon as possible. Anyway, they had to return to the Holy Land. Although their plan was affected, they came out to catch these shadows, so taking them back, Bai Luo could think about it on the way. The underground ruins are still a certain distance away from the Holy Land, but they are very sacred to the Holy Land, so Bai Luo must think carefully before he can do it. Now Bai Luo already knows the most important secret among them, so he doesn't have to be as restrained as before, and can finally do whatever he wants really. Next, he doesn't have to worry like before. Otherwise, he doesn't know what kind of impact will appear because of these things. Now these things are in front of Bai Luo. If Bai Luo can't give a clear answer, then Yangchen and Xiao too, the saint and the great elder who are waiting beside him will be implicated. Chapter 346 Question. Bai Luo knew all this, of course, so he continued to pretend that he didn't care and walked in that place while the shadows stopped beside the lake. Shadow Bunny observed that Shadow Yangchen's injury had stopped, so he blocked Shadow Yangchen behind him and said to him, "If Bai Luo and the others see that you are injured, they might understand the things we have hidden, so don't show up in front of Bai Luo for the time being. I will wait for you here. If you leave, just follow me. Just don't let Bai Luo notice your injured part. But your injury should have recovered now. I see that Yangchen next to you has become normal." After hearing Shadow Bunny's question, Shadow Yangchen nodded. He loosened the injured part that he had just covered tightly and found that everything had returned to normal, so Shadow Bunny breathed a sigh of relief at this time. Fortunately, who knows how our Yangshin got injured unexpectedly. Bai Luo and the others were fully focused there just now and didn't even look over here, so Shadow Rabbit's worries can finally be relieved. What they don't know is that Bai Luo is playing a big game, that is, to catch them all. So now Bai Luo is just watching and not taking any action. But once Bai Luo really decides to deal with them, they will regret it at that time, and they don't know what to do. These shadows are really naive enough, really thinking that Bai Luo and the others would not pay attention to them at that time just now. Little do they know that Bai Luo has already solved all of this behind the scenes, and the process of all this development is not something that ordinary people can see. They don't have to worry about the following things anymore. Bai Luo finally calmed down, so they all stayed here. Their things have been solved, and they can relax a little bit next. The elders on the Holy Land are now a little embarrassed. They want the saint to go back and take charge. Although they don't need the saint to help them do anything, they will be more stable if the saint is there. Especially now that the Holy Land is in ruins. The places that were destroyed last time have not been completely repaired, and they have also experienced the influence of those shadows. So the elders of the Holy Land are hesitating whether to ask the saint. Let's not talk about it for now. The saint asked us to find a way to solve those shadows, but we didn't find it. Now we have to ask the saint to come back. Isn't this affecting their things outside? One of the elders said so, and the other elders were a little helpless. But our current situation is really not good. You know, we don't want to call the saint back on purpose, but these things have really been greatly affected, so we must call the saint back. In this way, we can really calm everything down. Otherwise, we don't know what will happen. So we didn't do it on purpose. I think the saint should be able to understand us. After saying this, it can be clearly felt that they have a real understanding of these things. Otherwise, they would not think so. So next they just need to wait quietly in this place. So there is no need to worry about anything. But they still have some differences. Once these things happen, it is unknown how long they will last. So now they dare not act rashly and can only wait quietly in that place. Then let's discuss it again. But if the saint does not come back, I'm afraid that the humans in the Holy Land will be affected by this. The elders are not doing this for themselves, but they can clearly feel that the humans in the Holy Land have realized that the elders are deceiving them. Because the saint is not in the Holy Land at all. Those humans originally thought that they would be safer with the saints sitting here, but once they find out that this is a lie, they will be very excited, and then these elders will not be able to control these humans in the Holy Land at all. That's why they feel it's tricky, and they don't want to affect the saint's affairs, so they are entangled in that place, whether to make everything clear to the saint. In fact, for Bai Luo and others, if the saint and the great elder return, it will not have any impact on them, because Bai Luo already knows their most important interests, so they can completely relax and stay here. Because they are definitely not the opponents of Bai Luo and his team, they just need to wait here. These things may be a little complicated, but the closer Bai Luo is to the Holy Land, the more he can deal with these people. After all, these shadows are no longer Bai Luo's opponents. Their strength is lower than Bai Luo's at the beginning. If Bai Luo had not been concerned about the safety of Yangzu and Zhao Tu, he would have attacked these shadows long ago. How could he have kept them until now? Now he finally found out that these things were all deceived by them here. Bai Luo can attack them without worrying about hurting his friends. Bai Luo should be the happiest among these people now, but he just didn't show it. The error-free version is available at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar released this novel for the first time. We have been here for a long time. Let's keep moving forward. After Bai Luo said this, the shadows at this time didn't expect it. They thought that Bai Luo would let them stay here for a while. From the fact that they followed Bai Luo for so long, they found that Bai Luo was actually a person who liked to rest. Unexpectedly, he rested so quickly this time. So the shadows didn't say anything at this time. They all stood up and continued to move forward. Bai Luo and the others walked behind the shadows as usual to cover their backs. And the shadows just hoped that Bai Luo was not in front of them, because if Bai Luo found something wrong, then there would be no way to make up for it. So they walked nervously in that place, fearing that if something went wrong, Bai Luo would find it. "You all be careful, don't make any mistakes, we have to be careful next time." Shadow Bunny was very cautious. He was really afraid that Bai Luo would find something. Just now, Bao Yangchen was injured, and Shadow Yangchen almost exposed himself. He felt a little scared just thinking about it. Fortunately, Bai Luo and the others didn't focus on them at that time, otherwise, if Bai Luo and the others took a look, they would all be miserable. Chapter 347 heading to. So after thinking about these, they must be more cautious and not let any mistakes happen. Now Shadow Bunny has become the leader of this group of shadows, and Bai Luo has been secretly observing them and found that Shadow Bunny is the most powerful one among them. So if they can catch him, then those shadows can attack him well. If they want to threaten Shadow Bunny, then the little rabbit next to him is the most important. So later, Bai Luo will pretend to attack the little rabbit and then use the little rabbit to force Shadow Bunny to agree to his conditions, but Bai Luo knows that now is not the time, so he has to take it slowly, and Bai Luo has to discuss it with the little rabbit so that they will not make any mistakes, especially since Yangchen was suddenly injured just now. If he catches the little rabbit now, then Shadow Bunny will definitely think that there is a trick and will not believe what he says. Bai Luo knew that everything had to be done according to plan, so it was not appropriate to use this trick now. He had to act carefully. In short, he could not let these shadows notice anything wrong, otherwise, all of Bai Luo's efforts would be over. You got the advantage, otherwise, I would definitely let you know how powerful I'm now. Bai Luo was the calmest among these people, while Xiao and Ao Yangchen looked at the shadows and wanted to attack them right now. Since they really confirmed what Bai Luo said, they thought about the mockery of the shadows towards them and always felt a little uncomfortable, but due to Bai Luo's order, they did not dare to act easily. Otherwise, if it was really as Bai Luo said, all their efforts would be in vain, and then they would really become the sinners, so they would definitely not be able to accept all this. At this time, the two could only look at each other and calmly retreat to the side, otherwise, it would affect some other things. It was because Yangchen and Xiao believed in Bai Luo so much that they would do whatever Bai Luo said, and they would not have to worry about what would happen next. It was because of their obedience to Bai Luo that Bai Luo was willing to agree to the unreasonable demands of those shadows for them. So now they were running in both directions. After thinking of this, the two of them looked at each other, tacitly did not say anything, but quietly walked aside and stopped looking at Shadow Yangchen and Xiao too. They were afraid that when they saw them, they would have the idea of retaliating against them. At this time, Shadow Yangchen and Shadow Xiao had no time and ideas to target Yangchen and Xiao again. After what happened just now, the two of them were scared. Among this group of shadows, the leader was Shadow Xiao, and the one who almost exposed their secrets because of his own problems just now was Shadow Yangchen. So these two people were the most nervous in this team. So at this time, they all stayed there quietly. The shadows saw that something was wrong with them and didn't know what to say, but all they could do was stay there, fearing that they would say something more and bring about some fatal disaster. So they would stay there well in the future. The shadows were so quiet now, which made Bai Luo understand that it seemed that they realized that they were almost exposed. So the shadows understood that, as long as the shadow rabbit didn't issue an order, they would just stay there quietly. So all the shadows were waiting there, watching the teachings of the Shadow Yangchen and the Shadow Rabbit. Bai Luo couldn't help but curl up his lips at this time. I didn't expect that this Shadow Rabbit would be so powerful among these shadows. It seems that this Shadow Rabbit really has some skills. After saying that, Bai Luo couldn't help but look at the real rabbit on the side. He already had a good plan, which would be realized in a moment. The saint walked behind Bai Luo and the others, feeling very relaxed, but he always felt uneasy, so he said to the Great Elder helplessly, "Could something have happened in the Holy Land? Otherwise, why is my heart beating non-stop? Great Elder, what on earth is going on?" After the saint said this, the Great Elder's face suddenly became serious. He quickly looked at the saint in that place and said to her, "Do you really think so? What's going on? You can feel a different atmosphere. Could it be that something really happened over there?" After hearing this, the saint didn't know how to describe the different feeling in her heart. It was as if something happened around her, and this thing made her unable to control it, so the saint was a little anxious at this time. Otherwise, he would not be like this now. I don't know, so I'm a little nervous. Logically speaking, I'm one with the Holy Land, so if there is any trouble in the Holy Land, I can feel it. But this time, although it feels a little unstable, there is no big threat. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar is the first to publish this novel. I think something must have happened internally, so wait a minute. I plan to contact the elders of the Holy Land to see what's wrong with them. If there is any problem, we can solve it as soon as possible. We have been following Bai Luo and the others, and we are also going back to the Holy Land. Now that Bai Luo has known the most important point of these things, I guess we don't have to stay with Bai Luo all the time. The saint had indeed considered this aspect of the problem, so she said this. Otherwise, she would not have had the idea just now. So now the saint has recognized these things. The great elder listened to the analysis of the saint maiden and nodded. He felt that what the saint maiden said made some sense. Yes, if you and Bai Luo have made this clear, we can go back to the Holy Land before them and do some other work. In this way, we can cooperate with Bai Luo from inside and outside. Since they want to go to the underground ruins, we can send people in advance to guard that place. All this is under the premise that Bai Luo cannot accomplish all this. And if we make preparations for both situations, we can ensure that these things will not happen again. The great elder now guessed the saint maiden's psychology very clearly. He was worthy of being someone who had always been by the saint maiden's side. So after the saint maiden said a word or two, he had completely understood what she meant. Chapter 348, Own Arrangements. The saint was relieved to see that the great elder agreed. You and I have the same idea, that's great. Then when we stop again, we will talk to Bai Luo, and then take a closer look at what happened in the Holy Land. If there is no problem, we will naturally stay by Yangzu's side, and provide them with some help. The saint is very concerned about Bai Luo and his friends now, fearing that these friends will have problems because of their choices. That's why they are a little nervous. Next, they just need to stay in this place, so they don't have to worry about what will happen in the middle. Now all these things are here. If they are not careful, they will not be handled well. So Bai Luo is particularly cautious at this time. As long as it is anything, he will think carefully and will never give those people any chance. Otherwise, something else will definitely happen. So far, these things are all in Bai Luo's plan. So he just needs to wait until these shadows have completely relaxed their vigilance and then use the little rabbit to threaten them. Then it will be very easy. Bai Luo planned to wait until the routine rest tonight, find Zhao too, and talk it over carefully. They had to talk carefully and not leak out the plan they had finally decided. Otherwise, once those shadows knew about it, Bai Luo felt that he could no longer control them, because these shadows were very difficult to deal with, and they would slip away as long as they were given any chance. So Bai Luo would never let them leave his sight easily again. This time, he finally gathered them together. Now that he knew their weaknesses, if Bai Luo let them go again, then Bai Luo felt that he didn't need to stay in this place any longer. Otherwise it would be a bit embarrassing. So now they all had to enjoy this. Now Bai Luo was very calm, and they continued to walk in that place. According to their speed, they would reach the underground ruins in about 2 days. But Bai Luo would not let these things happen, so they had to slow down their current speed. Anyway, these shadows did not urge Bai Luo, although they did not know why. As long as they did not say anything, Bai Luo would slow down the current speed. In this way, they could control these shadows in their hands before reaching the underground ruins. At that time, they would have no way to make any other suggestions. Bai Luo had finally determined everything, so they just needed to wait for the time to come. The shadows walked in front, and their concerns were dispelled a little, because after waiting for a long time, Bai Luo was still the same as before, without any changes. They completely believed that it seemed that Bai Luo and his team really did not find anything. Otherwise, they did not know what problems would arise because of these things. So next they just need to continue watching from this place. Although this process may be a bit complicated, Who can know what the result will be? Are we going to stay here forever? Why don't we go ask Bai Luo and the others? Otherwise, we don't know what to do when we stop. After the shadows suddenly had such doubts, Shadow Bunny looked at them with some doubts and said to them, "What are you talking about? I told you not to attract Bai Luo's attention now, otherwise, we will be affected by them. By then, we will be doomed, right?" After Shadow Bunny said that, the shadows didn't dare to say anything, for fear that their plans would affect Shadow Bunny's judgment again, and then they would not be able to return to the underground ruins. So they were all silent at this time. In fact, they just wanted to see Bai Luo's attitude. It seems that these people are really suspicious. Bai Luo didn't say anything, but they made up a big drama in their minds here. Shadow Bunny looked at them and said angrily, "I don't care what you think, but calm down. We can't really break up with them now. When they take us to the underground ruins, our strength will become the strongest. Then why do we have to worry about Bai Luo and others? That's why I asked you to be patient. Otherwise, why did we pretend to be weak all the way? The more Bai Luo sees that we are strong, the more easily he will be affected. Don't you understand even such a small thing? Don't you understand how you did it?" After saying this, Shadow Bunny was so angry with this group of people that he didn't know what to say. The words he said were like for others to hear. They didn't listen to them at all. They were really impressed by their brain circuits. If Bai Luo knew this, who knows what would happen. Little did they know that every step they took now was very important. Once they took a wrong step, they would not be able to escape from Bai Luo's hands. Unfortunately, Shadow Rabbit had seen all these things and didn't want to have too much nonsense with them, so he said to them, "Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Anyway, just listen to me. With these, we can all stay here peacefully forever. However, no one knows what happened between them, whether there will be any other changes, especially some of the impacts on these things, and the importance of some things. So as long as they all listen to Shadow Bunny's words, and follow the methods they expect, they can complete it. Then Shadow Bunny can guarantee that they can go back, but they have completely forgotten whether Bai Luo's status and ability will make all this happen in advance. So next they can completely relax in this place and stay there, without worrying about any problems in the middle. The following things seem to have become a point they must strive for. The sky gradually darkened, and the surrounding environment began to become quiet. It seems that they have come to a very important place. At this time, Bai Luo understood that they needed to rest. He had to find the little rabbit to talk carefully. So at this time, Bai Luo said to them, "Okay, it's night again. Let's stop and rest first. We will set off again tomorrow morning, so we can all rest here for a while now." After hearing this, everyone stopped and sat down in that place. Chapter 349 Hunting. And those shadows did not come to trouble Bai Luo this time, but sat there quietly. Bai Luo originally thought that they would come to bother him for a while, but unexpectedly, they were so quiet this time, which shocked Bai Luo a little. Although Bai Luo imagined that they would be quiet during this period, he did not expect that they were so obedient, staying there obediently, and not asking anything. This made Bai Luo not know what to say. "I didn't expect them to be so sensible this time. What exactly do they want to do?" Bai Luo is now thinking about their approach, but since he can't make a definite decision, then Bai Luo just needs to wait here until the end. Now these things are actually under Bai Luo's control, so he is not the most worried one among these people. Now Bai Luo sits there calmly and builds a campfire. They haven't eaten something hot for a long time, so Bai Luo plans to look for some animals nearby this time, so that they can hunt and improve their meals along the way. So at this time, Bai Luo came to Xiao Tu and said to Xiao Tu, "Come with me and look over there to see if there is anything that can be grilled. We can enjoy it." After hearing this, Bao Yangchen and Xiao Tu were a little excited because they hadn't eaten those things for a long time. Now after hearing Bai Luo say these things, they were in a particularly good mood. "Really? Could it be that we can finally find one? I can't stand eating those dry food all the time." After saying this, Bai Luo laughed at this time. "I knew you had this idea. Now that I have said this, let's go. The noise from Bai Luo's side attracted the attention of those shadows. Those shadows didn't know what Bai Luo and his friends were going to do, but they could feel that they seemed to be going out together. So at this time, they wanted to stop Bai Luo and ask him why he did this, but they didn't know how to tell Bai Luo. Bai Luo seemed to be aware of their thoughts, so he smiled at them at that place. Don't worry, we don't have any other ideas, we just want to go hunting, don't be too nervous, we will be back soon. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he took the little rabbit away from this place, while the remaining Liang Chen and the sane girl sat down far away from the shadows. But they can actually see each other's actions, so they don't have to worry about the shadows escaping from this place. But in fact they don't have to worry about this at all. Because these shadows will definitely not leave here now. They haven't completed their own ideas. How can they easily leave this place? So they can relax here next. Stay until the end. As long as these things can make a breakthrough, then it will definitely be a good thing for them. So now these things, once they happen in front of them, if they have any questions, then these things will change dramatically. So next they just need to stay here. These people now think about these things more complicated than anyone else. Those shadows couldn't help but whispered, where did they go hunting? They won't come up with other means to attack us later, will they? Can you stop worrying too much about this place? You seem to be paranoid. Do you really think they will attack you? I think they are just doing their own thing. It seems that Shadow Rabbit doesn't take these things to heart now. He doesn't think so much now, so he missed these two most important points. Bai Luo took the little rabbit out to talk, but he didn't even tell the little rabbit, just to prevent him from showing any abnormality and letting those people find out. So when the two of them came outside, the little rabbit excitedly said to Bai Luo, where are we going to hunt next? Are there really those small animals around here that we can eat? After hearing this, the little rabbit was still a little excited, but Bai Luo turned around and said to the little rabbit, I called you out this time, not just because of this matter, hunting. Let's talk about it later. I want to tell you about my next plan. We already know the weakness of these shadows, that is, they will be affected by you. After hearing Bai Luo said this, the little rabbit nodded, but he still didn't understand what Bai Luo meant. Bai Luo continued, read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. So I have an idea, which is to let you act out a play with me here, and then I will pretend to be suddenly angry and threaten you, so that I can use you to make Shadow Bunny obedient. Shadow Bunny is the leader of these shadows. Once Shadow Bunny is threatened, those shadows will be afraid, so we can successfully control them and bring them back to the Holy Land. In this way, we don't have to worry about these things anymore. After hearing this, Xiao Tu didn't think there was anything wrong. He felt that, since Bai Luo had said so, he didn't have to worry about anything. Since you said so, then I'm naturally willing to cooperate with you to complete these things, so you don't have to think too much. As long as we can solve these problems, I will be willing to do anything. After saying this, Bai Luo was particularly happy, and he nodded. It's great that you are willing to cooperate. As long as the two of us think of a good play and trick Shadow Bunny, it will be very easy to control them. Bai Luo and the others began to plot in that place, but Xiao Tu was still thinking about it. So are we going to go hunting or not? I really want to improve our meals. After hearing this, Bai Luo couldn't help but smile. He looked at the little rabbit and said to her, I didn't expect you to care more about this matter. Don't worry, since I have already agreed, if you want to change these things, how can I let you be affected by other things? So after we have discussed these, we will really go hunting. We will definitely find something, because I just felt the surrounding environment and found that there are a lot of life breath nearby, and their strength is very low, so if we really want to take action against them, it is still quite easy. Now you don't have to worry about it anymore. Chapter 350 Communication. After saying this, the two of them continued to search in that place. It can be clearly felt that they have already made their own judgments about these things, otherwise, they would never be like this. Now that Xiao Tu has received Bai Luo's affirmation, he can finally relax. He doesn't have to worry about not being able to enjoy the food next. Bai Luo knows that Xiao is an ancient mythical beast, so he must like these things very much. For Teoti, the most important thing is what to eat. So Bai Luo can now understand Xiao's thoughts, so he and Xiao quickly conspired in that place. Anyway, we have to act very similarly. Only in this way can we really convince those shadows. Then I will tie you in my hands and tell Shadow Bunny that I want to get rid of you. The shadow will be scared by then, so when he begs me for mercy, I will propose conditions to him. However, this Shadow Bunny is definitely not that easy to deal with, so I may have to stay with him for a while. In this process, no matter what you want to do, you must tell me, and I will tell you the specific methods, so you don't have to worry at all. I will try my best to ensure that you will not get hurt in such a dispute. Because it's not just me, Shadow Bunny will not let you get hurt. If you get hurt, he will also be hurt, so his body will be greatly affected, so I don't have to worry at all. Just make sure to act well in this play at that time. Don't have any concerns. It may be a bit unfair to you, so I hope you can forgive me, little bunny. After saying this, little bunny nodded at this time. He didn't say anything more. His actions were actually telling Bai Luo that no matter what he did, he was willing to do it. So Bai Luo was particularly relieved at this time. With the support of the little rabbit, and knowing the weakness of the shadow little rabbit, Bai Luo now knew how to use the little rabbit to attack the shadow little rabbit. So Bai Luo was particularly relieved at this time. He finally didn't have to fear the threat of the shadow to him. Bai Luo didn't have to worry about how Hangzhou and Leng Yu, who were far away in the Holy Land, would be affected. Now Bai Luo was the most relaxed one among these people. After he and the little rabbit had almost finished talking, he turned around and walked into the woods to look for the game they mentioned, to see if he could really find them. The reason why Bai Luo had such confidence was because he really felt it, so as long as he searched for a while, he would definitely get what he wanted. On the other side, the Saint and the Elder, accompanied by Yang Chen, began to ask the Holy Land for methods. They now began to open communication with the Holy Land. The elders on the Holy Land received the message from the Saint, and they immediately opened their contact, and then immediately saw the Saint who appeared in front of them. Seeing that they were somewhat surprised, the Saint said to them, "Elders, has anything happened in the Holy Land recently? I always feel uneasy, as if something is going to happen, so I want to ask you what is going on." How could the elders not think that their concerns would affect the Saint so quickly? They were really anxious and forgot about this matter. The Saint could sense anything that happened in the Holy Land, and the more people imagined it, the more obvious it would be. This could explain why the Saint contacted them at the first time. Because this kind of thing really affected the Saint's mood too much, so the Saint was so excited. After thinking of this, they didn't know what to say. They could only watch quietly in that place, not knowing when these things would end. It's actually like this, Saint. We didn't want to tell you, but the humans here are a little uneasy. They seem to have learned that you are not here. Plus we are afraid that those shadows will come to destroy, so the humans in the Holy Land are no longer under our control. They have always wanted to see you. So we have been hesitating whether to tell you these things. Although they are calmer now than before, I think they are just temporarily depressed. So we are hesitating whether to call you back. After all, we know that you are fighting with those shadows now. If we disturb you at this time, then there will definitely be problems. So we dare not act rashly, for fear of affecting you. After saying this, they were very sincere, and after hearing this, the Saint understood their thoughts at this time. It turned out that it was because of this that the humans noticed it so quickly. They could actually feel that they were not in the Holy Land. It seems that he really wants to go back this time. The elders are worried that they will make some mistakes, so they have been insisting. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. But now if I tell Bai Luo about these things, I believe Bai Luo will agree to let the Saintess and the Great Elder go back to the Holy Land first to clean up the mess. In this way, when they return to that place, they can quickly capture those shadows without worrying about any problems. The Saint thought this was a relatively important matter, so she said to the elders, "Don't worry, I should set off today and go back there first. In fact, I'm not far from the Holy Land, but I can feel that those people are enduring. So I might as well go back first. After all, Bai Luo and the others now know how to temporarily control those shadows. So if I stay here, I shouldn't be able to provide them with too much help, and my leaving here won't have much impact either. So I will talk to Bai Luo first, and then quickly go back to the Holy Land to find you, so you can spread the word that I will be back to the Holy Land within a day. At the same time, the Great Elder will be with me, so please don't worry about it. I will definitely go back quickly. After saying this, the elders at this time did not expect that the saint would agree so quickly. They originally thought that they would have to hesitate for a while in this place, but they did not expect that the saint would speak so quickly after knowing these reasons. So smiles appeared on the faces of those elders. After all, they were really happy with this result. They were really fed up with it and were afraid that those people would undergo other changes. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.